There we go. Okay. Oh wow, what perfect timing with the music. Sweet. Hold on. Oh, I missed the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. Uh-oh. 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 Boop. There we go. Yo. Good meowing. Hold on. I need to hit my light. 1 second. Ah! Much better. Ah! Much better. Yo, give me meowing. Hold on. Turn that up a little bit. Perfect. Good meowing, guys, gals, MBs, and YouTube catters. Hope you're having a fantastic what is today? It's Friday. It's Friday night, Friday evening, Friday afternoon, Saturday meowing. Welcome to the stream. It is Friday, June 20th. We're live and alive today. We're hanging in there today. I actually need to grab a pillow to prop up my arm. So apologies for the not really streaming the past couple of days. I like how I hear pain followed by a normal tone of voice. It's not great. It's not enjoyable right now. It hurts. If you've been part of the Discord or in the Discord or no, I got hurt while donating plasma, and it's created what's called a hematoma on my arm. A hematoma. And it hurts. Yeah, it's not great. It's not as bad as it could have been, luckily. Could have been so much worse, But at this point, like while it's healing, it just makes my arm ache a whole lot. My muscles like tense up. I had to start taking like potassium and magnesium pills these past couple of days to just like relax my muscles so they didn't like, because they would tense up to the point of like cramping my arm. It made it feel like I did like a million curls every single day. And so it's not great. It's not enjoyable. At least for like gaming and streaming wise, I can kind of just like prop it up on my arm rest of my chair or like in my lap or something like that. But definitely makes it hard to like do anything super physical that I want to do. Like if I wanted to play Tekken or Street Fighter or something like that. It's been very rough. I still can manage to click through Master Duel a little bit. Just after a while, it does hurt. So kind of taking it easy today. It's going to be a little chill stream today, and it'll be a React Andy stream today. I'm going to watch some videos. If I feel better, I just took some ibuprofen as well. So if it starts to like dissipate, or like if I stop feeling it, there we go. If it starts to dissipate or I stop feeling it, then we might play some games or something. We'll figure out something to play later tonight. I feel bad though, because like Master Duel's not in a great state right now. Master Duel is decidedly not poggers right now. I like the fun decks and things that we can do, but I honestly, I don't think they're going to do a ibuprofen, the workhorse of over-the-counter pain relief. Yeah. I can't hear you, but I can imagine. Just imagine wagyu wagyu. Joke's on you. I'm not even real. I literally don't exist. I'm all imagining. Yeah, I haven't really taken ibuprofen until these past couple of days, just because like it's like started to make my arm ache a bit, and like just like even in while I'm sleeping, like I'll have my like arm stretched out or like laid up in a position, but if I wake up and like turn over to the side or move it at any point during sleeping, I immediately get like atrophy pain from it. So it's not good, it's not great, it's not wonderful. I probably should like get I wonder if I could find my old like, not sling, but I mean I guess it's a sling. Had one of those little arm slings from when I separated my shoulder a long time ago and had to get surgery on that. Maybe that would like help me. Just like basically just pins it to my chest so I don't hurt it while sleeping, or don't like stretch it in a weird way while sleeping. But hopefully it just goes away after a couple of days, because I don't like losing sleep. Sleep is my favorite thing, chat. I need my sleep. I need my beauty rest. I'm no goo without sleep. Oh man. But yeah, speaking of no goo, speaking of no good, Master Duel, new ban list. Hey, new ban list came out last night, or was announced last night, coming out the first week of July. And it's trash, as always. It's trash. They don't answer any of the problems because they don't want to lose money. They don't want to have to refund money. I think the like most notable hits is they banned Snake Eyes Oak, like the least impactful of the Snake Eyes monsters. And also limited like the Millennium Golem from the Exodia package. Millennium package that everyone's using, because Master Duel is a best of one and your life total does not matter because it's not there's no like going to time. So they limited that to one, but that doesn't even hit the deck because people are only running 1 or 2 copies at most of that anyways. Like the good one is the Sengenjin that everyone ran 3 copies of, plus 1 field spell, plus 1 golem. You still have the same amount of engine. It sucks. I hate it. I hate it here. But I mean, you can't even really hit that engine without just deleting the Millennium deck, unfortunately, as well. So like, it just at this, and I don't see them banning the actual problem cards like OSS, Original Sinful Spoils, Snake Eyes, or banning Apollosa or Baron, like the generic things that the decks make, without until like after Worlds at the very least, because they always do. Konami always does like the major shake up ban list, like going into the next quote unquote year of meta, always after Worlds. So like even selection packs, even like the new deck builder packs are going to be ass leading up to it, because they don't want to shake up anything with a Worlds meta coming up. I think Worlds is in 2 months, 1 month. It's not next month. I don't think it's next month. I think it's August, right? Let's see. Master Duel Worlds. Oh, I've already Googled this before. End of August. So yeah, we got end of August. So we got a long while to put up with it, unfortunately, until we get like any meaningful change in Master Duel, anything good in Master Duel happening. That being said, in Yu-Gi-Oh news though, we had the pre-release. I don't know what you would call it. I get sneak peek, I guess. I don't know, showcase. Ooh, showcase is a good word. I like the word showcase. The showcase of the new TCG set coming out in like 2 weeks. It's like the first week of July, I think. But like people have already been, or the streamers, content creators, which by the way, Konami, if you need a wonderful, handsome, pretty, funny, adorable cat boy to push your product, to make people buy your product, and you want to give me a box to open on stream, I'm gladly taking sponsorships. Don't forget about me, Konami. Don't forget about me. I'll gladly open cardboard on stream and say wonderful things about the product, no matter what. Just pay me in cards, please. Feed my addiction. Feed me, Seymour. Feed me. Oh. So we've gotten that. So we're gonna watch one of the box openings today because I want to see what's inside the set. I didn't watch the showcase, unfortunately. We're also gonna watch the history. We're gonna get cozy. We're gonna watch the history of Yugioh. I don't know how many parts there are. Let's see, history of Yu-Gi-Oh. I know the first part is like a couple hours, and it's like 2000. I don't know. 2002 to 2005. So Robin Dale, like, you know, let's see here. Do they do any? I mean, God, that's 3 years ago. Holy shit! They ever continue it? Videos, history of Yu-Gi-Oh meta, 2002 preview. Nope, just 2002, 2005. So we're gonna sit down and watch that, or lay back and watch that, I guess. Like I said, super relaxed, super cozy stream today, just because I can't do too much gaming. And then also the brand new branded, speaking of which, I know they got, I'm gonna have to check Master Duel, because the brand new branded Dogmatica video anime came out, but I don't know if they have a I don't know if they have like a game event or like a little story mode in Master Duel, like Sky Striker got. I have to see. We still haven't even played the Sky Striker one either. That's the other thing. Let's see here. New gates, the solo mode. They have Flamvel. That's not branded. Rankings announcement. Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Game Chronicles is now available. That's what we're going to be watching today. Look at solo mode real fast. Let's see here. Yeah, no branded story. It's literally just the we have a new terminal world. Oh, it's in the terminal. The Flamvel's in the terminal world. Jesus, how big is the terminal fucking world? Holy shit. Has Naturia, has Fabled, has all the Ally of Justices. Apparently, like Mist Valley and Flamvel are part of that like archetype as well. Good God. Ow. There goes my arm. Oh. Ow. I need to get like a little stress ball or something that I can like squeeze onto, to like just like work my muscles, I guess. I don't know. We are getting a new secret pack. Let's see here. Let's see if it shows me what is. I didn't look too much, or I don't know what's coming into it too much. Oh, it's a new selection pack. It comes out on the 23rd, so 3 more days. Arcana Force, wonderful. Glow up a bulb, time seal, glide. So it's the Arcana Force EX, the Chaos Ruler, and the Gladiator Beast, Claudius, like just draft chaff, like pack filler. That was in Suda. I think it was Supreme Darkness. That was in that. Don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't think they're gonna be releasing anything too meta shaking. I was hoping they would release like Orchest or something, like the new Orchest support or new Dragon Maid support. Something for these like older archetypes to like. They won't be the best decks in the format or in the Master Duel format, but they'll like at least be playable and enjoyable. So I'm surprised like we haven't gotten those yet. Especially since we got the Punk support as well. I mean, maybe they sneak them in. Maybe they sneak them into those packs. Who knows? Let me look at one website real fast and see if there's anything. Leaks. Expected cards. Okay, no, this hasn't been updated. All right, so yeah, we don't know. I mean, we'll find out on the 23rd then if it does have anything good inside of it. I mean, I highly doubt we'll get the White Forest support, or highly doubt we'll get the new White Forest cards, but a man can dream. No, I figured because if they're going to do the new White Forest support, it's going to be like one of the showcase cards, or at least like the Diabell Star Vengeance is going to be one of the showcase cards. So I don't know. I don't think it's coming on 23rd. Maybe next month though. Maybe next month. All right. Ow. Ah, yes, my favorite White Forest streamer. I'm the only White Forest streamer. No one else exists. I was the first to ever do it, baby. I was playing White Forest before it was good and cool. What's going on, Cream Puffs? How are you? Give me yawning. All right. Moon Man. I need to God, every time I see Moon Man, it reminds me of the Mech Knight Move Man. All right. Okay, let me get cozy real fast. Let me get all bundled up, and I'm gonna watch some videos. We're gonna hang out today. It's gonna be a little React Andy day today, as my arm is hurty. What are we starting with? I guess we can start with Rev's cards. Yeah, let's start with Rev cards. I want to actually watch the opening. You got Duelist events already, so which reminds me, like, Joshua saw Lune's son and thought, damn, I might as well steal his peak. So-called YCS champion. Yo, true. Joshua Smith stole White Forest Runic from me. That was my idea. I need to do one of those little call out drama videos of like, these are the timestamps of when I created the deck. This is when Joshua Schmidt played my exact list, albeit changed one or two cards at oh god, I don't know. That was so far back. It was like Euro Nationals or something like that. I don't know. It was like a Euro YCS. We need to whip up some drama for the views. We need to grift a little. The old VTuber grift. No one's ever seen it coming. No VTuber has ever grifted before. I will be the first. Let's see here. Me do this. I need to do this. Sorry. Still setting it up. Can't spell Schmidt without mid. Oh, he's a good player. He's a really good player. I could never like even if you don't like the guy, I could never sit and do what he does and play Master Duel for like 72 hours straight just to try and qualify for Worlds. It is an insane amount of dedication and mental health and mental fortitude to sit there and just like spam Master Duel games during those like qualifier events for like 10 to 12 hours a day, is sometimes longer, for 3 days straight, and then still not even make like Worlds, still not qualify. So like I would lose my mind. I would lose my goddamn mind. It is not me. I enjoy touching grass too much. I enjoy going out and like playing Yu-Gi-Oh in front with people instead. Especially this past weekend, I was out running around getting magic cards and building a magic commander deck. Opening the like Lord of the Rings, or not Lord of the Rings, opening the Final Fantasy stuff. But I'm excited for the new Yu-Gi-Oh set to come out, which, perfect segue, as soon as I can get my blankie. Well, I need my blankie, chat. That's my wrong blankie. The fuck is this? A Kari blankie? Oh. Oh, and it has a little moving mouth on it. Okay, well, this is not my blankie. Decidedly not my blankie, but it's animated. It's very cute. Oh, I like the little eyes. I like how they it's a very cute blanket, but I guess that's just like one of the like generic ones for VTube Studio. Okay, where's my blankie? Where is mine? Da, ba, 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 da, ba. Flowery hat. Okay, some of these things, these all have to be like new things that they've added. Horns? The fuck, my juicer boinky? All right, Millennium Ring. Okay, nope. Nightcap. Nope. 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 A swimming tube? Hell yeah. For our swimsuit stream. Okay, I don't want the hood. Let's just get this one. There's my book. Uh-oh. What just happened? I fucked something up. All right. Whoops. All right, let's try this again. One more time. It's been a long time. Hold on. It's been a while. Boom. Blanket. Bloom. Oh, it was censoring it for some reason. Oh, I accidentally hit the censor toggle. Perfect. Yay. All right, and then we do this. Okay, there we go. Nice and cozy. Oh, wait, hold on. It's like hold on. I gotta remove the hair. Why is it doing that? Hold on. Why is it attaching to that? It's like. Okay, that'll have to do. That'll work. All right. Boom. Okay, perfect. All right, segue. Speaking of opening cards. Speaking of opening Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I'm excited for the new Yu-Gi-Oh set, of which we're going to watch right now. We're going to watch Rev's cards open up. He usually gets them before anyone else, or gets their videos uploaded before everyone else. I'm going to check out what's in the new set, Duelist Advance.
Subscribe. Duelist Advance is just around the corner, fellas, and you know what that means. It means we have 2 early boxes to crack open, thanks to Konami. There's a lot of strong cards in this set, so let's just see what we get.
Oh, my arm.
Hit the like button. We are back once again, opening a brand new core set. We got Duelists Advance, a lovely little duad opening. 2 early boxes, thanks to Konami. Let's just get into it, man.
They always pull
all of the, or most of the TCG exclusives. We got the new archetype, we got that revealed, so that was kind of cool. We've seen the new ritual support. We know
oh yeah, they keep, I forgot about, okay, I did get spoiled on that. They're still printing more ritual support in the year 2025, with Ryzeal Mitsurugi being like the best deck of the format by far. They keep printing more ritual support. I hate it here. But also shout outs to Necros, because we might try and play Necros. Necros looks sweet. Necros looks like bad rituals, and I love it.
Product description. Maybe it's just random. I don't know. Let's hopefully pull some Starlights and find out, baby. In terms of like cards I want, it would be really cool to pull the Kaibaman the Legend card.
Starham! Oh, he's adorable. A level 3 Synchro. If this card is Synchro summoned, you can discard 1 card. Special summon one monster from your graveyard that was used as Synchro material with this card Synchro summon. And if you do, treat it as a tuner. If this card is in your graveyard, you can discard 2 cards, special summon this card, banish it when it leaves the field. Huh. How are you getting 3 though? Like what is being played that's level 1 tuner, level 2s? I mean, it's a cool like synchro climbing card though. Necros bad rituals. Aeon did we live in? I mean, it's not bad. It is a lot better now with the new support. But I mean, it's not like when you have Mitsurugi ritualing from deck, and Mitsurugi being basically the ritual version of Branded, and them just Ryzeal Mitsurugi just like creating the atomic bomb. Everything seems bad in comparison.
Experiment around with different Blue Eyes builds, and Kaibaman the Legend.
Valen. Okay, we're gonna be pausing a lot. Oh yeah, this new psychic support is in this set, right? That's what this set is. Oh gosh, my arm. Sorry. Hold on, let me like wrap it up at least. Get like some support under it, I guess. I don't know what to do with it. All right, there we go. Yeah. And it's level 5. So remember the number 5, chat. 5 is going to be super important coming up with in Yu-Gi-Oh when we get the K9 stuff, that it's all level 5 Xyz monsters, and that can play on turn 0. It's like the new tier limits basically. It all plays on turn 0 and interacts with your opponent, even if you're going second. During the main phase, quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, change it to face-down position. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 face-down field and destroy it. That's actually not bad. That is a Book of Moon on turn 0 if you're playing K9. That might actually see some play.
So we got the Starham, Valon, the Super Sai Sky Blaster. Oh, is this a set with all the new psychic stuff? Heroic Champion Magnum
Is that a new heroic champion?
Excalibur. We got
Oh, new Tostina support. Tostitos! This card is normal or special summoned. You can add one Tostina monster from your deck to your hand. Okay. For the rest of the turn, like Tostina monsters you control gain 1000 attack. If this card is sent to the graveyard and a card is in the field zone, you can special summon this card. Also, you cannot special summon from your hand and or graveyard for the rest of the turn. That seems like a pretty good extender. That doesn't seem too bad. Tostinos needs all the help it can get.
Ooh, he's a big boy. Level 10. Of course, that kind of makes sense in Tostina, right? Oh, okay, oh, dude, it's stamped.
RB Valken. Cool. Okay, this is one. I like that they're doing stamp stuff now. They're like making cards unique, but also RB is the new TCG machine.
Valkan Rocket, one of
archetype?
The new TCG exclusive
I gotta stop pausing it. Pre-watch.
Almost makes it look like one of the new prize cards, like the YCS Effect Veiler. We got the Valkan RB Rocket. Let's go, dude.
Vanquish Soul. Oh, the Vanquish Soul support's in this. Hell yeah.
Vanquish Soul start. We got Field Spell.
Regenesis. Okay.
Layer 19.
Oh, the Super Quantum support. Yeah, Super Quant gets a. And the Novell support. Oh, hell yeah. So the Super Quantals, old ass archetype, the Power Ranger archetype, actually gets like their own Kashtira Fenrir basically, in their archetype. Like Super Quantals is actually kind of crazy.
Dude, there's support for so many different archetypes in here. I completely forgot. Duelist Advance was just not on my radar. Like, in the lead up to Nationals,
I'll be honest, I didn't know like what was coming in the set. All right, here's the new lore archetype. This is what's going to be the new branded, the new White Forest, all that fun stuff.
Cool artwork.
Dark Flare Swordsman. Wait, is that oh, and the Luna Light support. Okay, I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on this. I think Luna Lights is supposed to be crazy.
We got Thereurialize. That's kind of cool. It's a cool name and it's cool artwork.
All right, Dark Flare Swordsman. You take no battle damage involving this card. You can use the effects of Dark. You can send one Flame Swordsman or one monster that mentions it from your extra deck to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. Quick effect: you contribute this card. Special summon one monster that mentions Flame Swordsman from your deck. Is this more of the Metalmorph support, Max Metalmorph support, or just pure Flame Swordsman stuff?
Flare Swordsman, very nice. I love Dark Flare Knight, dude. Lunalight Silverhand is a common. We knew it was low rarity, just not
Lunalight support. I am afraid.
Archmage Masterwork Succession. The Archmage stuff looks really, really cool as well.
Galaxy War Drake.
Level 4 Light Dragon. If a level 4 Light monster is special summoned to your field, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can target one other level 4 Light monster you control. Make it both that monster and this card at level 8 until the end of this turn.
Oh, it's
pretty good, actually.
Galaxy Eyes. Yeah, Galaxy Eyes support. Hell yeah.
Cool card.
Teleport Fusion.
Psychic Fusion monster. Spirit Poacher. Yeah, we caught the Amethyst Cat. Jesse Anderson will not be happy about that one.
Return of the Duelist.
And we got
Psychic Omnibuster. Okay. We're going to be looking at like a lot of the synchro cards from this set to see like if they're playable for any other archetype outside of Psychics. I mean, Psychics is going to be pretty cool too. One tuner plus one non-tuner psychic monster. Okay. So this one's non-generic. Each time your opponent activates a card. Each time your opponent activates a card or effect on the field, except during damage step, you can pay 2,000 life points and declare one type, monster, spell, or trap. You can only declare each type once per turn, so you can do this effect up to 3 times, pretty much. Look at one random card in your opponent's hand, and if it is the declared card type, you apply the sequence. This card cannot be destroyed by the effects of the declared card type. Banish the card you looked at face up until end phase. Oh, okay. So like potentially hand rips for 3.
Okay, interesting.
If you hit all of them.
We have Prototype Psychic Blaster.
Another Valon.
Sky Blaster, rank 5, level 6. Okay. Gaia Stream the Graceful.
What
Force.
the hell is that?
Curse of Dragon. Got a little bit too much of that H2O. What does this do? I've read the effect.
I've never seen this build.
That's a card, I guess.
Oh, more Adagnister support. 1,000,000 years more Cyberse Malice support. Let's go. If a Cyberse monster you control would be used as link material for an it's Adagnister. Oh, thank God. Never mind. We're so back. Oh, it's only for Adagnister. Okay, it is Adagnister support purely. This card in the hand can be used as material. If this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, you can discard one card, then target one spell trap on the field. Or you can target 2 if this card on the field was used material, destroy that card. Okay, so it's just Adagnister support or link summoning from hand. Oh!
Baby, let's go!
It's bad! It's a really bad card!
This is our first higher than super rare pool. We got Kaiba Man, the legend, with his 3 blue eyes.
It's a cool art though, sick art.
Blue eyes white dragon in the background, dude. What a sick looking card.
I mean, it's literally just a way to make for all the people that want to play Magia in their blue eyes Primite deck for some reason.
To play 3 blue eyes white dragon in your deck, which is not ideal in terms of like competitive ratios, and it's a warrior instead of a spellcaster. Yeah, so you can't go into Spirit without a blue with this card. However, you can do some cool things with it. So very, very fun.
Like you specifically have to search this card with your Sage normal summon search, and unless you've opened it, of course. And even then, like, that means you're not getting an effect veiler to use on your opponent's turn, so kind of jank.
Looks amazing, and we'll definitely be experimenting with it at some point. Spring or summer and autumn and winter. Spring, very cool. That's very pretty, actually, very calming. Miracle Raven.
Oh, okay. This is why I want to read the new ritual support, because this is gonna be super important with like Mitsurugi decks. If Mitsurugi continues to go unhit and people just use it as engine now. In like every deck, but also for upcoming archetypes and like ritual decks that we already have out there that need support, like Drytron or Voiceless Voice, Necroz. You can ritual summon this card with Miracle Raven. All right, it's a pit scale. So if you scale it once per turn during your main phase, you can ritual summon this card by attributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed 1. You can ritual summon this card with Miracle Raven. It must be ritual summoned. The ritual summon card is not affected by your opponent's activated effects. If you ritual summon exactly 1 ritual monster with a card effect that acquires use of monsters, this card you control can be used as the entire tribute. If this card is tributed for a ritual summon, you can add 1 ritual monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, so it searches it's a pre-prep on a body. So like you scale this, ritual summon it from the scale by tributing anything, like any spare monster, like tributing like a Fualos or something from your hand. So a dead card that you don't need going first. And then you can see here, if you ritual summon exactly 1 ritual monster with a card effect that requires use of monsters. Okay, so yeah. So if you use like your ritual spell, like Necroz Mirror or whatever, to ritual summon, you can use the Miracle Raven as the entire tribute, no matter the levels. And then this also just grabs you another ritual monster when you use it as a tribute. That's actually a really good card. Really good support.
Ritual summon itself, love that, so creative. Moon Gardener and Inferno of the Ascend. I love this art. Ascend has such sick art. The deck's just not it for me. Spellcaster level 4 light. If your opponent controls 2 or more monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Gunner once per turn this way. If this card is normal special summoned and your opponent controls a monster, you can target 1 level 4 light monster in your graveyard. Add it to your hand. It's like an extender that's kind of better going second, I guess. Okay.
Level 4 slop. Ooh, that's pretty.
This card looks familiar. I think I'm like
non-generic though.
Ruler Archfiend, is that his name? It's green in the artwork. This one's blue. I assume it's kind of like similar to that. Another Psychic Synchro.
Another Testino.
Super Quantal.
Oh, nice. That's the Dark Super Quantal. Okay. If you control a Super Quant monster except Zeton, and this card is in your hand, you can special summon this card. Then you can make this card's level the same as the Super Quantum monster you control. You contribute this card and send 1 Super Quant card from your deck to your graveyard. Special summon 1 super quant. Final more quants. This is the good quant too. Like this is how's it going, VV? Give me on a welcome in. This is the like card that this is like the custom card that they've been needing this entire time. It is an extender. It is a free like it's a level modulator to get your level 4s out, and it also special summons from your deck a name specifically that you want. I know this card is crazy good.
And oh, it's like the black super quant. Let's go. We got Serene Psychic Girl.
Hell yeah. If this card is normal or something, oh, it's a Earth Tuner too. Hey, we can make Goyo Guardian with this finally. If this card is normal or special summon, you can banish 1 card from your hand, and if you do special summon 1 level 4 lower Psychic monster from your deck. Serene Psychic. I mean, actually, this is really strong. What the fuck? It's specials from deck. It's literally it's a common fucking Stellar. What the fuck? Why does Psychic get a common print Stellar? Oh god. And it's on normal or special summon. It's not even a activated ability, or I mean, it's activated ability. You know what I mean? It's not a separate chained ability. It's better than a Stellar. That's crazy.
Level 2 Earth.
Not Lord.
Ooh,
Argostar support.
We got our first ultra rare, and it's the rank 4 Argostars monster. Let's go. A couple of people at locals actually playing Argostars now, so that'll be nice for them. Psychic Omnibuster. We got Yugioh.
Okay, everyone is losing their shit about this card because it is a level 3 Fiend, meaning it is Burning Abyss support in the year 2025. Which is actually pretty base. It's actually pretty sick. I don't know what Burning Abyss actually ends on to like be relevant whatsoever. I think Farfa, we might watch that after this. Farfa has a video showing off combos with this, but it is interesting. I do enjoy Burning Abyss.
Right. This looks like it's going to be part of the forbidden.
Not lore archetype, so it's allowed. Why are generic cards so good? Generic cards shouldn't be better than lore specific cards.
You target 1 fiend effect monster you control, negates effects, and maybe you special summon this card. Okay. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Mutiny in the Sky from your deck to your hand. It all kind of depends on what Mutiny in the Sky does, and I assume that's going to be in the set, so let's try and pull that.
Ashland's
U1000 here as well.
I think that Ashland is a ritual fucking link too. Hold on, I'm pretty sure that Ashland's a ritual link. There we go.
Pull that.
All right. Oh yeah. Sorry. If a ritual monster, this card points to attacks or a defense position monster, it inflicts piercing. Okay, that's whatever. Don't care about that. You can use an effect. You can reveal 1 ritual monster in your hand. Add 1 ritual monster with a different type and attribute from your deck to your hand. If you ritual summon, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls and return it to hand. Actually, that's not bad. Originally Beatrice with Dante flexing, but Beatrice died because Cringesmith and Snake Mid. True, I forgot that they banned Beatrice, so so now what does Burning Abyss actually end on that's any kind of decent? This card doesn't seem better than the already linked to that everyone's playing. I mean, it searches a ritual monster, I guess, by revealing, but
let's keep going. We have the
Lunalight support.
Card is going to be super rare. It just like by the artwork.
I am a furry.
But it's a common. Okay, it's a really good card as well. It's like one of the Reobs you would have in the deck. So that being a common.
Oh, there's the cash. Yeah. Okay, so this is literally just Kashtira Fenrir on a super quant.
Really nice.
24/24. 7 stars. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can discard 1 other card, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can special summon a Super Quantum Mecha Beast Xyz monster directly from your extra deck, using this card you control as material. And it's treated as an Xyz summon. And if you do, attach 1 Super Quant monster from your graveyard to it. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a Super Quant special from or Super Quant spell from your deck to your hand. This card's crazy.
Black layer.
There's also the ritual 1 pin. Yeah, we already saw the ritual 1 pinned. Not only does it tribute 1 monster, it can tribute itself. It can, if you open 2 of them, It special summons itself. It ritual summons with itself. It's gross. Mitsurugi is going to be so insane.
Dark Flare Swordsman. We got
Goo Goblin! Sorry.
Goblin Bird. Yeah, we got the new Utopia support in this set, right? Spirit Poacher.
Chat, Catters, raise your hand if you're a Goo Goblin. Raise your hand if you're a Goo Goblin.
Once again, we got Regenesis Cycle.
Shipping error, Ashland.
U1000. What is this? Oh, it's actually just a funny little annoying effect for the opponent. It's not like game winning or game changing. It is simply annoying. Alright.
Wake up! Oh, okay, this card's cute as hell. This card is adorable as hell. What the fuck? Wake up Mocha. Aqua flip. Oh, it's a flip archetype. What the fuck? Raise his hand. Once per turn during the end phase, you can change this card to face down defense position. You can only use each of the following effects of Wake Up Mocha once per turn. You can target one face down defense position monster on the field, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, change that monster to attack position. If this card is flipped face up, you can target one face up monster on the field, it gains 1,000 attack, but send it to the graveyard during the end phase. So this is it's flip support. I mean, I guess you would use this in Mimic-Ghoul. I don't know. I mean, it lets you flip stuff during your like turn one, so I guess that's pretty strong. Just don't know what you would like do with it. I'm excited for the RB deck. Not gonna lie, it's gonna be, what is the RB? Oh, the new TCG robots. Yeah, the new mechs. They look sick. I think he opened one of the supers from it.
Not what I would have expected. Oh, wake up. Wake up.
Oh, wake up. Oh, that's so cute. It's wake up. Oh.
Wake up Mocha.
Oh,
cool,
I love that.
I like the name for that. Theorialize. We got Shafted.
Nouvelle support. Another Zeton. Oh, this is all right. This is also goes along with the BA support as well.
Dark. What is this? A fiend fusion. 3 fiends and or fairy monsters in your graveyard. Huh? Oh, this goes with that other card. Monsters in your leftmost or rightmost main monster zones cannot be destroyed by card effects. You only use each effect once per turn. You can target one card your opponent controls, send one fiend or fairy monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, destroy that card. That's pretty good. If another card you control is destroyed by card effect, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. 3,500, 3k. Okay, so I assume the card that we were searching, this, what was it, Malice in the Sky or something? No, something in the sky. Fusion summons in the sky. That makes sense.
Moon magic, goon magic.
You can special summon this card. You can only special summon Magician once per turn this way. This card is normal special summon.
Level 4 Xyz archetype.
In your graveyard, special summon it when negates effects. Ooh, that's kind of good. First effect being an inherent summon is actually pretty good as well, because that plays around something like Caesar, and that would like fulfill the requirements because your opponent controls an Xyz monster. Yeah, kind of cool, kind of cool.
Oh yeah, Monarch support's in this too. Monarch's gonna go crazy. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, it's a tuner too. Level 3. You control level 4 or lower light beast, plant, or fairy monster you can special summon. Oh my god, it's a free level 3 tuner. I have a monster that was synchro summoned using this card as material this turn, gains 500 defense. And your opponent cannot target this defense position card with card effects. Oh, interesting.
Beast level 3 light tuner. If you control level 4 or lower light beast, plant, or fairy monster.
I don't know what you're summoning with it, but
a monster that was synchro summoned using this card as material gains these effects. Gains 500 defense. Your opponent cannot target this defense position card with card effects. Okay, this for the Ancient Fairy Dragon deck.
Oh,
Ashland
okay.
As well.
Ancient Fairy Dragon.
A couple of nice rarities to pull in here, hopefully. We got Prototype Psychic Blaster.
It's heavy Sam support.
Valon, the Supersized Sky Blaster.
Another Quantum.
We got
Furry! Holy shit, that art is amazing. Good god. Oh man, I need a I need to print screen this. I need to screen cap this art for reasons. I need this for later. Holy, good god. Lunarlight Leo Dancer plus 3 Lunarlight monsters must be fusion summoned with above materials. Unaffected by card effects. Okay, sick at the towers. Can make a second attack during each battle phase. Sick. And once per turn, quick effect, you can send 1 Lunarlight monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. Destroy all your opponent's special summon monsters.
Boss monster for Lunalight. Yes,
good god.
Very cool.
That's crazy.
Lunalight monsters plus Leo Dancer. Like hefty requirements. Art Mage, Pact, Awakening. Dude, the art on this card.
Someone
Wow.
said on Twitter
Cool.
that like Luna
So
Lights were
nice.
going to be
Burn all the
crazy.
action, more great artwork. Spring, and we got Ashland once again. Gaia Stream, the Graceful Forest. We have the Realize, Leo, Wizard of the Dark Fiend. Oh, this is like an old card. This is a retrain, but I can't remember what his name was.
Shifted
We
Novellas.
have Burst.
Oh, there's the
Dragon
Primite.
Lords. Is
Wait, was this
also like a
Primite?
super poly target?
Oh no, this
Three
was
normal
the
monsters instead of two
yeah,
this
yeah,
time.
yeah. It's
Whoa.
Primite.
Fusion Summon. You can only control one, cannot be destroyed by battle, and is unaffected by other monsters' effects. Once while face up on the field, when a spell trap card or effect is activated,
Just don't know how
destroy
you
all
ever
spell
get to
traps
this.
on the field. That's
Or
pretty cool,
why you would
actually.
ever get to
Really
this.
Sick looking monster. Regenesis commands. We got Spirit Poacher,
Goon
and
Magician.
Mage Pact Awakening. Alright, coming up on the halfway point of this first box, we have Vandalism Assault for the Archmage,
Quant.
Black Layer, Absolute
Accent
Strong
Kicker, that's cool.
Big Psychic Fusion, holy. Chef de Novels, we have...
Oh, the Sky Strikers support! Okay, all right, we might actually have to play Sky Strikers in TCG. I love Ray. I would do anything for Sky Striker Ray. This card is crazy. This card like is a fucking custom card for Sky Striker and lets them just continuously cycle spells and traps and never run out.
Lemnis Gates. Target an equal number of Sky Striker Ace monsters and Sky Striker spells in your graveyard. Shuffle them into the deck, and then for every 3 shuffled, you can return up to 1 card on the field to the hand. Non-targeting, quick play spell. Very, very nice, especially for late game as well. Yeah, new Sky Striker support. We love that. We love that, dude. Is this from the animation? Like this exact frame? Can't remember for sure.
She's
but it was
aura
really
farming.
Cool.
She's
Another
girl
nice
bossing,
Purple
pussy
Raven,
queen.
Thunder Swamp, and Return to the Duelist. Very nice. All right, so we're at 2 Ultras and 1 Secret. We could potentially be doubling up on
Mocha.
those. Wake Up, Mocha. Succession for the Archmage. We got Lunalight Masquerade, Heroic Champion, Magnum Excalibur.
Oh,
Perfect
the other Luna Light monster.
Combo Piece for Lunalight. Searching the Lunalight Perfume finally. Very nice. Vanquish Soul Start.
Oh, it searches perfume? Hell yeah.
And commands. Equip monster gains 200 attack for each Exceeds material.
Might play Luna
Once
Lights.
per turn, you can activate the following effect based on the equipped monster's card type. If it's an Exceeds, you can detach 2 materials from a monster you control, set 1 Exceeds spell trap from your deck. Or if it's not
Are there any good Luna
you can
Light
place them on
lists
monsters
out
the same
for
level
like
as the equipped
OCG
monster
or
and
anything?
into
Like, is
effect
Luna
with
Lights actually playable?
effects. Meant to be for the like Utopia deck, right? We got
Oh, that's cute.
another Yukano Mitsune card. No Onari. Beast Light Link 2. 2 light monsters, including a beast monster. Okay, this is once again for the Ancient Fairy Dragon deck. Kind of curious on how that deck plays, to be honest. We love Ancient Fairy Dragon. Ancient Fairy Life Dragon is really, really cool as well. Chef de Novels, we got the Starham.
Stop printing AFD.
Minster.
Oh,
Vanquish
Vanquish Soul support.
Rocks. The rank 4, 2+ level 4 at Vanquish Soul monsters. Super rare. Very, very cool for the Vanquish Soul deck. Return of the Duelist.
They finally have something to end
Steel
on.
Stringed Sacrifice. We got guitarists on the pitch here, on the baseball pitch, giving us a little solo. Let's go. There's cards in your hand or graveyard. You can reveal 1 level 5 or higher monster.
Yo, this art goes
Activate
crazy.
effects, but you can only use each effect once per turn. During the end phase of this turn, lose 1,000 life points if you did not normal summon the revealed monster or a monster with the same original name after activating this effect. Okay, and the 3 effects are special summon this card from your hand, add this card from your graveyard to your hand, banish this card from your graveyard, and if you do, add 1 level 5 or higher monster from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, if it's in your hand, it special summons, and if it's in the graveyard, because you can activate it while it's in the graveyard, you can add it back or banish it to add 1. Actually, not a bad card.
Vanquish Soul start.
Soul start. Final pack, and then we're halfway through this first box. Taking a bit longer than I expected. We got Silverhound, Power Patron,
Archmage.
Archmage, Power Patron. We got the Owl.
Part of the new
Crossbow.
lore archetype.
Starham, Absolute Axon Kicker, and we have a parallel.
Oh,
Teleport.
Psychic.
Tribute 1 Psychic monster with a level. Special summon 1 level 7 or lower Psychic monster from your deck or action deck. Then, if the original level, the attribute monster is different from that of the special summon monster on the field, you lose life points equal to the difference times 1,000. Oh boy. Okay, that's a easy way to lose a lot of life points. It does special summon from the deck though. Awakening, then we got Unbreakable Exceeds Barrier and Shift Counter. Oh, a counter trap. Wow, when a spell, trap card, or monster effects activate while you control an Exceeds monster, to get activation, then you can detach 2 materials from a monster you control and then destroy 1 card in the field. That's
what the fuck?
Not a bad counter trap. Like sometimes you don't want to hit the first thing your opponent does, so you can let them set up a little bit, stop 1, and then pop whatever they have on field. That's Really strong, dude. Art Mage, Vandalism, Assault. We got Heroic Champion, Magnum Excalibur.
They gave Solemn to Xyz decks?
MK11 or MK2, depending on which way you want to look at it. He's blasting, baby. Earth Psychic this time. So
me when I blast, chat.
Steel Stringed Guitar Man. We got Unbreakable Xyz Barrier, Inferno, and Miracle
Another
Raven.
Miracle Raven. Now we have the 2 for our deck.
Two ultras and a secret in this box, so let's get to them. Gaia Stream, Lunalight Masquerade. We got the Star Ham. Here we go.
Oh, RB. Okay.
Landing. Secret Rare.
That's pretty.
The new
That's cool art. That's sick. Very very like Machineroid esque. Or what was that, Power Tool Dragon esque as well? Which reminds me of just like anime archetype.
Card for a new archetype, so very cool. Buyo, the Dawn's Light. We got Novels and Moon Gardener. What ultra rares do we want to pull in here? I don't actually know, dude. Darkfire Swordsman, Leo Wizard. Ooh, we got Silverhand, the Monarch's Revolt. Normal spell for the Monarchs. The Monarch artworks are so dark in this set. Spring. Mutiny in the Sky. Here
oh, there. That's what we need. Fusion summon one.
Fusion summon one fiend or fairy fusion monster from your action deck by shuffling fiend and or fairy monsters from your graveyard.
Oh, that's crazy.
If this card is in your graveyard, you can send one fiend or fairy monster from your hand or face up field to the graveyard. Add this card to your hand. Okay, so we're just constantly.
Yo, that's wild.
The artwork is so sick, bro, and it is pretty much just like a polymerization. It's more like a miracle fusion.
So what? Do you just like do you just tour guide that level 3 now?
Deck. Very cool, actually.
Oh, this guy. Boyo
the Dawn's Light and Miracle Fusion, I guess, right? By shuffling back. Very cool, actually.
Yeah, because it triggers off if he's sent to the graveyard. So you just what is it, tour guide this card out instead of Sengen and make the link too.
Okay, Boyo the Dawn's Light and Spirit Poacher. Moving on, we have Serene Psychic.
Oh, collectors, let's go. Or Starlight.
I
Yeah,
forgotten Starlights were even in here. Okay, what do we want? I don't know what we want.
he always gets a Starlight in like his boxes, or like QCR.
Miasma Dragon Testina. Okay, is it going to be an ultra or a secret, or is it just going to be like any card in the set? Let's find out. Secret rare, Starlight rare spell card. We have.
Oh, that's pretty art.
Alteration. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with that because it's like the big lore archetype. So this is probably.
God, I love Starlight Rare's looks. Granted, it's like the same foiling as Quarter Century, but I'm so sick of the Quarter Century stamping.
So maybe it is just
God, it's so pretty.
Starlight. Woo! Let's go, dude. Hell yeah. Moon Guard now, we got Ashland, Sudden Thunder Swamp, and Guitar Guy. Okay. Well, you know the drill. Both boxes. Succession. We got Darkfire Swordsman, Silverhand, Leo Wizard, we got RBGA10 Cutter. This one's stamp is at the top. They're not all at the bottom, so they don't all.
Who up cranking their cutter right now?
Psychic Omnibuster, we got Awakening, Shipping Error, and Teleport.
Who's up cranking their RB, cat?
Heroic Champion. Gaia Stream, we got Serene Psychic Girl, Crossline Dart Stream, we got another Psychic Blaster here. And yeah, we've seen all of those commons at this point. So
who up blasting their MK2?
Swing on past those. What do we have? Ultra rare.
Oh, Utopic, another Utopic card? Utopic support?
Future.
Oh, it has no levels.
As I say, we can skip past the commons. We pull
Angry Burger
to go alongside the Hungry Burger. Next up is going to be the Hangry Burger. Number F0, dude. This kind of looks like reminds me of Exo Stag Beetle for some reason. I think it's just the coloring. No, I'm pretty sure it's like the Golden Beetle, right? Kind of looks like that for some reason. Or is it Master Key Beetle? I don't know, dude. I don't know. We pulled a big shiny Utopia card. Let's go. Ultra rare. Mutiny in the Sky. Very nice. Let's keep it going. We got the Hushed Psychic Minister into the.
Oh, there's the art made. Oh, it's a super.
She's got a little instrument as well.
Speaking of supers, chat, I've been the new OTS pack came out. It's gonna be out, or it's out this week at local stores. Local stores should have it this week. But Sylvie, by4 Sylvie is a super now. Finally, all that bitching paid off. So now we have 3 copies of Foil Sylvie, Super Sylvie, and a copy of Rusia, if we ever play the Rusia again.
Super rares. We
If
have
Joel ever gets
Primite
banned.
Fusion. Forgot there was Primite support in here. The Fusion Monster. What rarity is a Fusion Monster?
Grab my drink real fast. I'll be right back.
Seen it yet? I want to say ultra rare. Utopic Tactics. Let's go. Xyz Tactics was always a card you like want to consider. Like just draw a card every time you see someone. Seems pretty good, right? Maybe this is like similar to that. Do you draw cards actually? I'm just looking for the word draw. I'm not reading the full thing. I don't see it. Okay. We got Armage Power Patron. We have Super Rare Tessera. The Primal Squire. This guy looks really cool. Water, wind, fire.
Oh,
it's Monarchs. It's
the rest of the
Monarchs.
Primal Squire. What the fuck is that?
Monarch stuff. Right. We got Starlight in box number 1. We pulled the Kaiba Man. So I'm happy. We can pull nothing in this box. I'll still be happy. But we'll take all that we can get.
Oh, good God.
All right. Support. Forget what else is in here. Primite Fusion, I guess. Oh. Is that super rare? No, where's the super rare? There we go. Silent. Psychic
Ooh, that's a generic.
Generic
Level 5.
All the comments. I don't believe there's going to be an Angry Burger situation in here. We got the Ready.
Oh, that's new.
Ooh, that's a super rare.
Okay, add 1 Fiend Ritual monster from your deck to your hand, and if you added a Pendulum monster, you can special summon 1 sacrificial token. Oh, this is how you get the Ritual Bird out. Okay. Because I believe he's a Fiend, so yeah, this searches out that Ritual Bird, and then makes a token to Ritual with it. That's pretty good.
Searching the Miracle Raven.
Miracle Raven, yeah, that's what it is.
You can search a Libromancer monster, or maybe the like End of the World Ritual.
It searches out your Relinquished.
First of the Dragon Lords, super rare.
Make Relinquished great again.
Starlight would also be very nice. We
have Galaxy War Drake. We've already seen that.
Let's go for the Galaxy Photon deck. What else do we have? Spell card.
Ooh.
Academic
Lore field spell.
Acropolis. Dude, the alliteration.
Crazy that this lore archetype gets a field spell that searches everything that they need without restriction. Meanwhile, White Forest had to wait for four different sets of support to get a field spell, and we have restriction on it. And we're locked out.
Acropolis, that's crazy. Field spell during your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Medius the Pure in addition to your normal summoner set. Okay, another additional normal summon field spell. Love that. A lot of Archmage cards, actually. We got Moon Gardener, Sudden Thunder Swap. Okay,
I'm not salty at all, chat. I'm not salty.
We have Dodododo Warrior.
Oh, doubling up on Ultra sucks.
Duplicate.
That has to hurt. God, I love the sound. I love the sound of packs cracking, chat. I don't know what it is. It is ASMR to me. I love the little like sound of foil being ripped to open up a pack.
Gambara Knight, super rare. Let's go.
Oh, that's the good shit.
Cards, right? We have the Field Spell, the Xyz. There's more. Lager Dancer. We have RB.
Oh, second Rocket.
Rocket. Let's go. Rocket to the moon. Next up, Fusion. We got the
another Lunalight.
There's actually quite a few.
We're duping so hard right now.
In this set, to be honest. So seeing that purple border gives nothing away. I assume the Primate Fusion's ultra rare. We have a
the last Morganite.
We still haven't pulled Morgana. That Morganite deck, Morganite Stun, very funny. Maybe we can play it. We got the Morganite. We do need the Morgana though. We have Eidos.
Oh, there's the Monarch support. Monarch go crazy.
Very
Monarch
nice.
be tributing all your monsters. Be tributing your board.
Monarch art is so dark. Monarchic perfection. Monarchic, is that even a word? Monarchic. Look at all the bullet points. Holy. Once per chain, if your opponent special summons a monster and you control a tribute summon monster, you can banish 1 Monarch spell trap from your graveyard, then activate one of these effects. We can only use each effect once per turn. Destroy a monster on the field, destroy up to 2 spell and traps on the field, discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand, destroy one face to... Oh my god. Just do anything. This card literally does anything. Let's keep going. We have Primite Fusion. No Primite Fusion monster yet though. So we've pulled Primite Fusion, but we haven't pulled the Primite Fusion, you know what I'm saying?
Angry Burger.
Zubababa Knights, very nice. What else do we have? Another ultra rare, another secret rare. We got
Loose.
The Dust.
Another one. After this video, we're gonna watch the. I want to watch the Farfa video, the combo video. I want to see. Oh, that's Archmage. All right, that art's pretty as hell.
No, it's not.
We're not gonna play the new lore archetype, but that art is pretty.
Secret rare. Well, I mean, we'll take it. We'll take all the high rarity Archmage stuff. Yeah,
We do love gorgeous waifus.
Ultras, I believe, still to come in here. We have Sky Striker.
Oh,
We're doubling
nice.
up on the Sky Striker spell card. Let's go.
Isn't there another
And
Sky
are we gonna
Striker
get another
spell?
Surprise Starlight? Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. It's coming. It's coming. Don't worry. The parallel teleport. Watch this. Starlight in the next pack.
Oh, the driller.
And go the driller. The RB artworks are like very simple compared to what we had recently. Mitsurugi and like a bunch of the other archetypes like Mimigul and whatnot. Like I guess Mimigul were like kind of simple artwork wise as well, but like it's simply just a drill, man. Dudes will look at this and go, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
We have Mind Procedure. We got main deck Psychic Monster this time. Let's go. And that takes us to the final 3 packs. What else can we get? Maybe an ultra rare in here somewhere. Okay, here we go. We finally got a...
Oh, shit! The Holly Sue!
There she goes.
Yo, Vanquish Soul's gonna be crazy as well.
We'll take it, we'll take it, dude.
Be on the lookout for Vanquish Soul, chat.
Dragon Lords. No Primite Fusion Monster, unless it's in here. It was an ultra rare. I don't believe it will be in here, but, you know, stranger things have indeed happened. Let's see what we get. Heroic Champion, Magnum Excalibur, we have Dark Flare Swordsman, Linkslayer Agnister, Lunalight Masquerade. We have our 3rd Galaxy Wardrake. We
got the plate set.
Galaxy Photon ready, officially. And that is it for Duelists Advance. Very, very big Archmage wave in the set. Let me know if you're going to be picking that up, if you're excited for like new Sky Striker stuff. Are you going to be playing Vanquish Soul in this upcoming format? Archmage going to be sticking to
this format's going to be so weird, dude. It's going to be just...
I'm happy with this, dude. Let's go.
This format's going to be crazy. It's going to be like literally Mitsurugi Ryzeal sitting on the like throne on top, and then just a clamor for second place, second best deck between like Malice, Sky Striker, Vanquish Soul, White Forest, Lunalight potentially. It's nuts. This new like upcoming format is Orcus is also technically in there somewhere. Like this new format is gonna be wild. All right, let me okay. I wanted to derail off of this slightly because Farfa actually put out a video. I don't really watch Farfa stuff much, but the new BA support stuff looks kind of crazy. And if anyone is going to make a BA video, it's going to be Farfa. And I wanted to see if he's got like actual combo lines or like how the new lines work. Okay, it does. It's not just talking about it.
It's been 10,000 years.
I just want to see what BA actually ends on, if it's actually playable.
Support. While not directly being BA cards specifically, it is something, and it does help facilitate the 3-axis Fiend Slop type of deck that Burning Abyss appears to be evolving into. I'm going to give you my initial thoughts on where I think this deck is going to go, as well as displaying some of the combos that I cooked up with this deck. So they've gotten 3 new cards. Yugioh, the Dawn's Light, a Fusion, Luce, the Dusk's Dark, and Mutiny in the Sky. I like the thematic Sanctuary in the Sky reference. I want to say that kind of feels like that's alluding to, but anyway. So a Fusion is not typically what you would think Burning Abyss needed. And just to caveat this is not going to make Burning Abyss competitive, but it has opened up a lot of potential plays with the deck using actual Burning Abyss cards. It's bittersweet in that an actual Burning Abyss monster is what I would have loved to have seen. And I think even today, the card quality of Graf and Seer especially still hold up to the test of time. The problem is that this deck doesn't really have an end board or direction. And while this Fusion is a really powerful card, you will notice that I'm going to be facilitating other engines. I've always said that this deck is going to need a new Dante retrain, a new rank 3 to go into, or some sort of link 1 that attributes Dante by using it as a material so you get the effect off, or at least also a Beatrice retrain. If you want to find out more about the
it just needs like an end board. It needs something to do.
That I worked on last year to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Burning Abyss, and so you could also have a look at that if you're interested to find out more. There are very few things that flare up my modern competitive TCG spark for the game, but this here, I'm excited to play with these in 2 weeks' time. Let's have a read at the cards and I'll give you my thoughts as well as display the combos thereafter. This is Yugioh, the Dawn's Light, and can't really fault the artwork, man. Like, it's...
Okay.
If you want to play this to spam the board and get more balls
Sorry,
off the field, then you can definitely play 3 of this. You would probably play 3 of this anyway if you are trying to play actual...
Let's go sent to the graveyard. Oh, it's just sent to the graveyard, so you can just mill it off of Rhino Warrior. That's pretty good.
The second effect. Shaper spell card. Naturally is going to work really well. And I'm here for the BA combos, and let me also to call first we used to play.
All right, what are we doing with this?
A card your opponent controls. Send a Fiend or Fairy from deck to the grave and destroy that card.
What's that, a quick effect or?
This is a really powerful.
Oh no, it's just it's just during your turn. All right, come on. There's gonna be combo. All right, here we go.
Competitive rogue.
Let's see what we can do.
Playing this at locals, and I might win some extra packs than I normally do. Let me show you what this deck is capable of.
Yeah, he means he's gonna win 1 pack. With this, we can actually go 1-3.
Basically the same combo as opening any 2 level 3s.
We could beat up that child on Blue Eyes Primite.
Or Yugioh plus a good Burning Abyss name. We're going to make Cherubini here. Trigger the Graph to special summon Seer. Cherubini's going to send Rhino Warrior, which sends Yugioh. Yugioh adds the Fusion spell. From here, we're going to go into... listen, it's like the cards were designed for this deck. You can't really be mad at me for this, but we're going to make... closed move. And use the effective Seer to bring back.
Okay.
Bring back
yeah.
For fusion link fodder is really powerful because we're gonna basically be doing.
I mean, at least it is a fiend deck, I guess.
In this, and it's all Fiendsmith, baby. I know, but here's why it's relevant. So
oh, Aerial Eater. Okay, we actually get to use that. Leverage that.
Aerial Eater by putting back Graph and Tour Guide. And you can send Skarm from your deck to the grave with the Aerial Eater. The reason that's really important is that you want a good discard in the end phase. You want to search Graph so that you can trigger the fusion in the end phase. Here is more Fiend Slop. Yep, these cards were all made for each other, I promise you. We're going to summon out Yama, bring back Engraver. That's going to give us the required materials to make the dog. We're going to pop it with Sharvara. Then on the new chain, we're going to trigger everything. Adding back Engraver to the hand with the Soul of Rage, and then Yama brings back the Lacrima, which we rank up into, or Contact Fuse, into Necroquip. Then we can use the Engraver we added to our hand to search Fiendsmith's Tract, and then we get a random draw in the process with the Necroquip after we use the Tract. We're going to use Tract to bring out Lurry from the deck. This gives us the Light Fiend required to be able to make Sequence, triggering the Sharvara in the process, which is going to set the...
oh, we just have a Necroquip kind of sitting there?
Interruption with the trap card, the graveyard, against your opponent. We're going to use the Sequence here. That's going to perform a fusion summon. We're going to go for the 3 bodies. And fun fact, you can actually make Pilgrim Dante if you want. We don't want to do that, but if you want, you can make Pilgrim Dante.
Make Albao.
Combine the link materials into Abao, which discards a card, banished itself until the end phase, and then it's going to special summon.
Okay, but we still just have a... okay, there's... I was about to say, we still just have a Engraver there. Or Albao, but High King Caesar...
From Skarm.
I don't know if... I don't know if ending on the giant fusion guy is like good enough. Is good. I mean, High King Caesar is good, but surely like we could just make Desiree, right? At least. Was there any BA cards that we could end on instead?
Opponent's turn here. So just off of a single tour guide, we have a bow discard to pop. Then the Graph triggers to special summon Farfa. We're putting it in the middle zone so that it dies. This is going to trigger the Luce, which is going to pop a card. Farfa is going to banish. We have double Solemn Warning. We have the Chamber bringing back the Soul of Rage, which links off a body. And then SP is going to banish a card and then banish another card. We also, of course, still have the Lacrima. And we can use the Fiendsmith Paradise as well on the opponent's turn for Desiree. So all in all, you have, I think, 8 disruptions off of a single copy of Tour Guide.
That's not bad, though.
From a competitive standpoint, that sounds all well and cool, but a light fart in the wind shuts this combo down, which is why this is not going to be competitively viable. The choke points are way too obvious and too plentiful, really, to stop this deck. Regardless, it is still so freaking fun,
No, they
It's
just
still
like
so cool what
Imperm
this
or
deck is
Veiler or
capable of
Ash
doing.
or Tour
Now, some
Guide.
things I want to try and improve in this combo is we didn't use Aerial Eater. The effect to banish from the graveyard is really hard to resolve. You're going to have to use Double Engraver because it banishes 2 level 6 or higher fiends with the same attribute. I made a lot of mistakes in my initial combo drafting of this because I was banishing Necroquip and Engraver. That's obviously you can't do that because it's light and dark. They need to be the same attribute. So if anyone figures out like other lines that help this deck, you know, maybe utilize some Burning Abyss cards, that would be cool. And I did cook up some other combos utilizing the Duke of Demise in my extra deck, which allows you to normal summon Tour Guide twice. I might show that on stream, so pay attention to my highlight channel if you're interested in that. But for this,
I've come to really appreciate Duke of Demise.
2 BAs do. Now, I don't want to just play like 3 Tour Guide, Graph Seer, and then call it a day. I want this to be an actual Burning Abyss deck.
I can respect that,
I want
though.
to play Burning Abyss monsters in. Obviously, that's going to make it worse. But let's see what just 2.
That's how I feel about like White Forest. Is I don't want to like play fucking 5 White Forest names, 3 LZ, 3 Sylvie, and the Azza LZ, and then everything else be Fiendsmith, slot.
Either Graph, or
like I want to
Seer
do
during
White
the
Forest
next
combos. So I want to play the
helps
deck
you
to
do
do
the
White
exact
Forest
same combo I just
combos.
showed, except it's 2 cards instead of
Luckily,
one,
we
which
got the
obviously
support
makes it
now
more
to
powerful. So these are
White
just
Forest is
2
actually
blank
great.
names, basically. Libich and Farfa here. It's basically going to be the same thing. We're going to go Graph. We're going to go Cherubini. That's going to send Mutiny in the Sky. Add Mutiny in the Sky, sorry, for Buio off of the Cherubini effect. We're going to fuse the 2 Burning Abyss names here into Aerial Eater. Aerial Eater is going to go Graph into Seer. And from here, it's very similar as the last combo. The only disadvantage to this combo is that I couldn't get a discard. Because your Aerial Eater isn't sending Skarm, you don't have a discard for a Bow to be able to trigger the Luce. So essentially, it's a 2-card combo that ends on the... You end on the fusion, but you don't actually have the destruction effect. So if you draw any other Burning Abyss card, obviously you can alleviate that issue, because you can just discard one of the Burning Abyss, like Graph or Seer in your hand, and then trigger it regardless. So it ends up becoming like a 3-card combo, which is really inefficient and definitely not good enough in modern competitive standards. But obviously, I'm trying my best to make this work. So if you find any lines here that work out, do let me know. But it's sort of the same as what we've already done here. Use the Unchained engine to be able to add back the Engraver and Revive. Gives you a draw, which, I mean, you can draw into Burning Abyss cards if you want to play the heavy version here, and it's kind of the same as we've done already. We're going into the sequence. The sequence is going to go into the Luce, but I suppose, like, if you don't have a way to trigger Luce, you could just make Pilgrim Dante. The problem is
I just don't know, like, if making Luce with the Fiendsmith sequence is correct here.
Which, I mean, is fine, but
I mean, it's okay.
You want to be discarding Burning Abyss names. So I guess, like, if you have multiple bad names, you can keep Farfa in your hand instead of summoning it, and then you can use it to discard off of Pilgrim and use it as a banish. You can see here, this is the combo with just 2 blank names.
I do like Luce's protection effect. Protects the left and right.
The problem is that you don't get the Luce interaction, so there's no way to trigger this.
One Super Poly just fucks this deck up, or this board up, though.
Paradise, but you don't actually
Super Poly go brr.
So I'm stuck. I was up for like an hour or 2 last night trying to make this work, and I couldn't figure out how to make just 2 blank BAs work. But I gave it my best. I'm sure someone much smarter than I am will be able to come up with a way to fix this. Let me know in the comment section down below what you have come up with, if at all. Genuinely, I'm not just saying this as like the YouTube algorithm thing. If you find a way, I want to know.
I need this. Let me have this. Bro's been trying to make BA work for the past 10 years.
I will do this again at least once.
Is this my future, Catters? Is this who I'm going to become? Just like 10 years from now? It's like, no, you don't understand. White Forest is still good. White Forest is still playable. I'm just like coming up with any kind of like spellcaster slop list that dies to Droll and Ash Blossom still in 2035 just to try and do White Forest combos. God, I love Yu-Gi-Oh so much, man. I love that shit doesn't ever rotate out. All right. Well, that was cool. Okay, so We were kind of on the money. I just don't. I'm not too knowledgeable on like BA itself, so I don't know what they can actually make off of that. Or like what you can actually end on. I mean, I feel like, listen, I just have fun playing UA and trying to figure ratios for FA. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Hiking Caesar is like one of the best you can do. Like make Hiking Caesar. What is even in Burning Abyss now? Burning Abyss Yugioh. Burning Abyss card results. Dante Pilgrim of the Burning Abyss, using 3 Burning Abyss monsters, cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects. Once returned during either player's turn, send 1 BA card from your hand to the graveyard. Draw 1 card if this card is destroyed by opponent. Okay, so that just draws you cards. That doesn't really do anything. And then Dante. Did he never do Dante target 0/0 target Dante during those combos? That's kind of disgusting. We don't like that. I mean, what generic fiend stuff is there? Okay. All right. And what was the other video? Okay, I did want to watch. Speaking of generic stuff, where is it? Did I put it in my save for later? I might have. History. There it is. Nice. I wanted to watch the Dogmatica Ecclesia versus the Fallen and the Virtuous. Dogmatica Ecclesia the Virtuous. It is the new branded video, the branded aura farming Sky Striker. Except this video is actually 6 minutes long, so we're actually we actually might get some like plot points with this one. We might actually get some lore, some archetype, some story being told with this one. It's not just gonna be girl boss pussy slay queen aura farming battles. Oh, the music's sick already though. Oh, hello? Okay, this music's sick as fuck. Do we have closed captions? Oh, let me rebind it back. I have closed captions. I don't think they made it in English. I think it's just closed captioning. Oh, Land of Abyss, isolated from the outside world. In its northernmost reaches lies the nation of Dogmatica. Looks great already, though. I love... Yo, that flag animation? Ah, that's Dio! Yo, that's Dio! Hell yeah, baby! Oh, I know that voice in it. Oh, Jojo. It's the... Oh, hell yeah. Let's offer our prayers to the heavens time ago. Oh, Stigmata, protect the children of God. Stigmata, strike down those who dare defy us. Oh, Stigmata, crown our northern reaches with everlasting glory. It's Ecclesia! Oh, hell yeah, that's sick. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know the like Dogmatica monsters names aside from Ecclesia, unfortunately, and Maximus. It's the only two I still see nowadays. Oh, who is that? Oh, Charmigate Nerval! Yo! I saw that.
エクレシアお姉様今日は立派だったなありがとうございます
They sound very familiar too.
懐かしい鎧すらまとったことがなかった少女が立派になったもちろんですお姉様との約束ですから
Who is that? That sounds very familiar. Oh, I'm gonna pause. Who is the Dogmatica animation voice actor? Who is that? That sounds very familiar. The Chronicles. No, who's the half the episode? Voice cast is Kana Ichinose. And then oh, that's Fleur de Lis. Oh, that's Dogmatica Fleur de Lis. Okay, I know that card. Never mind. Kana Ichinose sounds very familiar. Who's Kana Ichinose as a voice actress? Kana Ichinose was... Oh, she's Soletta! Okay, that's where I know her from. All right. She's Soletta from Gundam Witch from Mercury. Yo, hell yeah, okay. Fleur de Lis, Ashian, Nexus, Theo. I guess Ashian and Theo were the two guys. Yeah, but Ecclesia is Soletta from Witch from Mercury. Hell yeah. Okay, and then who is Fleur de Lis? Miyuki Sawashiro. Where do I know her from? Copy. Paste. Miyuki Sawashiro is from Sinon from Sword Art Online. There's gotta be something more. Catherine from Catherine. Oh, she's Ivy from Soul. Okay, maybe that's where I remember it, is Ivy from Soul Calibur. She's the Japanese Ivy for Soul Calibur. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. I don't think there's... Oh, Kurapika from Hunter x Hunter. Oh, she's Izuna from No Game. Okay, that makes much more sense. Okay, that might actually be... No Game, No Life is one of my favorites. Yeah, she's the little fox girl from No Game No Life. I've not seen that. Gundam Witch from Mercury is like one of the best Gundams. I loved it. Like at least best modern Gundams. Yeah, I just hear Soletta now. Oh, I hear my little autistic red-haired bean. Oh, you're going against the church. Oh, she doesn't like that. Oh, she doesn't like that. God, Dogmatica is also just a sick archetype as well. I wonder if that's playable. We have enough ritual support now. Hear me out, chat. Dogmatica Mitsurugi. Let's think about it. Let's walk with me here. Walk with me. We ritual summon Then we ritual summon some more. We rip their extra deck while ritual summoning. And then we make a board wipe. Then we make a Raigeki. We play this deck IRL. I just wish it didn't have to devolve into Albazo with Turbo 90% of the time. Didn't they get a new support monster? Like the final boss monster? But I mean, what if you just like use the knights? Like you didn't actually go into Albazero. What if your boss monster was just the Mitsurugis? Like you play like slightly lower to the ground. And use like your boss monster is just fucking Ame no Mitsurugi or whatever. Ame no Habakiri. And now we have the Miracle Raven too. Oh? I gotta see what Dogmatica actually can do. Yo, Brandon! Wood. Wood. Listen. Everything reminds me of her, Chad. Everything reminds me of her. Yo, what's going on, Kiryu? How are you? I've come to spread misinformation about you and your eyebrows being fake. There's nothing fake on me. It's all natty, baby. Just me hiding the like copious amounts of powders and proteins. Hey, yo, me when that rift opens up. Brandon! Me when I'm activating branded fusion once per turn. That's the Bellion, right? Oh, he's dead. Get fucking cooked. Beat its ass! Beat its ass, Ecclesia! Finish it! Double tap it! Double tap Brandon! Make sure it dies for good! Don't let it get to Albion White. Don't get it to Sanctified. No! It's a twink! It was a twink all along! Double tap it! Beat him now! Happy Pride. When the white nationalist Southern girl finds a twink during Pride Month. What the hell? Seven Hells are we watching? This is the Konami Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles anime, I guess, quote unquote. Back in last year, they teased all these. They're doing like little anime shorts, multi-part anime shorts for different archetypes of Yu-Gi-Oh! So the last one, they just finished Sky Striker, and this is the first one for branded Dogmatica. Bro, we have a solid minute of credits in a 6-minute video. There's a solid. Why are we getting like? Why are we getting cutscene or just like stills from the 5-minute video as if we forgot? Like, did you remember this hype moment? Since when did the creatures transform into humans? So this is Fallen of Albaz, and he's used as fusion material for every single branded fucking fusion monster. So that's what it's equating to. The dragon that like came out and got fucking Slay Queen, Pussy, Boss, Girled, I think was Lubellion, which is one of the branded dragons. And it uses Fallen of Albaz as material. So like when his ass got beat, he became like he depolyed down into Fallen of Albaz again. This makes me want to play Dogmatica, I'm not gonna lie. Alright. I mean, that was sick. I think that was much better than the Sky Striker one. Sky Striker is literally just girl boss hype moments and aura farming the entire time. At least that one had like some semblance of story for the few minutes that it existed. I do want to look up actually Dogmatica, because I love the Dogmatica cards, but like the deck is always, every time I've experienced it, oh, excuse me, the deck has always just been rip cards from your opponent's extra deck till they can't play no more. Let's see here. So we have Yugioh, which is your special summon level 4. We have I don't want branded deck. You can play Nadir Servant. Dogmatica, Ecclesia. Okay. Where's the rest of them? All right, yeah, there's Aiden, the Enlightened, level 4 spellcaster. If a monster is special summon from the extra deck, it's on the field. You can special summon this from hand. Dogmatica Ashian. If a fusion summon or link monster is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can target one Dogmatic card in your graveyard. Add it to your hand when an opponent's monster attacks. Okay. Dogmatic Nation. The player can target Dogmatic monsters you control with the effects that are special summoned after damage calc. If your Dogmatic monster battled a monster, destroy that monster. If the face-up monster or face-up card in the field zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can have each player send one monster from their extra deck. Okay, that's not really good. I mean, Maximus is playable. You banish Fusion, Synchro, Link, Xyz monster from your graveyard, special summon it. During the main phase, you can activate this effect. Send 2 monsters with different names from your extra deck to the graveyard. Also, your opponent has to then send 2 monsters from the extra deck to the graveyard. Yeah, Alba System Dogmatica Calamity is the new boss monster. It's Fallen of Albaz plus 6 different monsters in your graveyard with different names. And like once per turn, if you control this fusion summon card and have 6 or more fusion monsters in your graveyard with different names that mention Fallen of Albaz, you can send all cards in each player's extra deck to the graveyard. I don't even think that's good. Like that's super hard to get into. Like we play like Fleur de Lis, right? Or Fleur de Lis during the main phase of special summon monsters from the extra deck. Special summon this card. Negate the effects of one special summon face-up monster on the field. Then determine your Dogmatic monster declares. Okay. So what does Nadir Servant do again? Nadir. Send 1 monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, then add 1 Dogmatica. Okay, or Fallen of Albaz. Okay, so yeah, you send like Garura or something to draw a card, and then you add a and then you add your Dogma. This like Rhoda's your Dogmatica monsters. I want to play the rituals. Is it Dogmatica? Okay. Where are the oh, there's multiple pages. I'm stupid. Okay, yeah. Dogmatica punishment. We already know Theo. Let's see. We were for sure run Ecclesia, Dogmatica Matrix, and Nadir. Matrix is when activated, you can add 1 Dogmatica ritual monster. Okay, yeah. Then if your opponent controls a monster, you can add one Dogmatica card from your deck to your hand. Once per turn. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, these are the cards I want to run. Like, I want to play the White Knight of Dogmatica. Like, these cards are what's sick to me. Like, I love these cards. The White Knight, there's like multiple of them. Yeah, White Relic. And then we play the Mitsurugi cards. I will have to actually play the ritual spells, the Calamity. Calamity Macabre. Macabre. You must also tribute from. It's also tribute monsters from your hand or field and or banish fusion or synchro monsters from your graveyard whose level is equal. I mean, that's super easy to do. Like if we play both these ritual spells, because like you just like send Garura for Calamity, or send like one of your extra deck monsters that like has a effect going to the graveyard that like lets you draw cards and lets you extend further. So like we do Garura to draw a card and ritual summon with that. Only activate one per turn. Let's see what's holding this back. And we also have the ritual bird now. Dogmatic Matrix. You can also sing Granganol the Dust Dragon. Popular extra deck options include Arclight and Intis. Yeah. For going second. Like Arclight, Intis, whatchamacallit, like even the Mitsurugi. What does Right Relic do? Oh, this has to be done with the Macabre. What about the other one? This has to be with the Calamity. Okay, that's a little sucky. If your opponent activates a card or effect, you can send one monster from your extra to the graveyard, and if you do, look at your opponent's extra deck and send one monster from it to the graveyard. So it rips. I mean, this just rips Detonator. Also run Dynamundo, since I want to try playing control with my back row. I mean, Dynamundo is like you have to include in every ritual deck. I know some Mitsurugi players are starting to include it as well. It's great for grind games. Then if a monster is special summoned from your opponent's extra deck, you can look at your opponent's deck. Okay, so all they do is just send. This card is ritual summon. You can target 2 face-up monsters, make one of those attack equal to. Okay. So all they do is just send from the extra. They just rip your opponent's extra deck. So I mean, I guess you would have to just like know what the important key cards to rip out of a deck are. Like if you're playing against like a Fiend Smith variant, like you rip Moon and you rip Moon and rip the level 1, the Requiem. Or if you're playing against Ryzeal. I mean, I guess it's bad against Ryzeal Mitsurugi, but I mean, I guess you could just rip the 2 Ryzeal names out of it, since I don't think you're playing multiple copies of. Hold on. I don't think you're playing multiple copies of Ryzeal anymore. The Duo Drive. Let's see. What is Mitsurugi Ryzeal? There we go. Let's see here. So their extra deck. Yeah, okay, they are playing multiple Duo Drives. So yeah, you just rip the 1 Detonator and the 1 Duo Drive, one of the Duo Drives. Yeah, everyone's playing Dynamundo now in ritual decks and Mitsurugi Ryzeal. Kind of sucks because you still had to fight against Murakumo and sometimes the red one. I can't remember its name. But like I'd much rather have to beat like a Raigeki than have to beat a Detonator. From Malice, you just rip their either the level 2 so they can't climb, or rip like their white binder or red ransom. I don't know. If I want to try and make this for comp, I think I'd have to run Zoa Turbo and drop some of my main deck. I don't even think you do Zoa Turbo. I think that's like how often are you going to be able to get that out? Like really, you want to facilitate. I think the strongest part of it would be playing the Mitsurugi cards because it gives you free level 4s to ritual with. If I go second, pro rarely. Yeah. Add the Mitsurugi Spiller Trap because like you get the Mitsurugi. Add one Mitsurugi synchro or ritual from deck. That's your ritual from deck. Going first, you made it every single time. I feel like Rip 2 from their extra deck plus Raigeki kind of just like plus back row kind of cleans. I mean, you don't really get much negates though, unfortunately. And you also just have like 2 level 8 random level 8s on the board. Oh yeah, you can also send Aggregator too for a negate. That actually makes more sense. So like Aggregator would be in there to be a card sent. God, I hate TCG deck building right now. 3 Full Willows, 3 Perulia, 3 Droll and Lockbird, 3 Ash to fight against Mulcharmies. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15 hand traps, 17 hand traps. Wild. All right. We have like one more video one to watch today. Damn, they're still doing Magic Pro Tour stuff today. Oh, there's a new Master Saga. Oh, it is Friday. Wait, shouldn't that come out on Wednesday? Doesn't that normally come out on Wednesday? I've been watching a lot of Magic the Gathering Commander videos, trying to like see if anyone posts Emmett Selk stuff. Where is it? History of Yu-Gi-Oh! Boom. This one's gonna be a long one. Oh god. That's one I want to check out. I think it's like a rite of passage everyone has to watch. Please don't DMCA me with the song, please. I didn't post it. Move.
In late September of 2001, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters began airing in the United States, and
which Emmett Selk, the Unsundered, the one that is a Yawgmoth's Will. I treated myself. I gave myself a little treat, and bought the extended art for him. I actually got it in the mail yesterday. My commander deck's pretty much finished. I'm missing like 3 or 4 cards that I would like to have, which are like Brain Freeze, and some Mana Rocks and stuff. But slowly but surely. Oh, and a Windfall. Windfall would be great because it's all about you need to have 14 cards at least in your graveyard to flip him into his Yawgmoth Will form, and then I just like combo off by like playing stuff out of my hand and then playing it again and storming off and with stuff out of my graveyard.
Immediately became a cultural phenomenon. The main focus of the show was the titular card game, and its massive success in America guaranteed that a physical version of Duel Monsters would hit store shelves in the near future. The game had already taken off in Japan and proven its potential market value, and so after making a deal with Konami to acquire the Yu-Gi-Oh license, Upper Deck
Surveil is how I usually do milk colors. All right, you've triggered my autism. Hold on, I'm sorry. Triggered the autism. There's no going back. Pause the Yu-Gi-Oh video. I'll show you what I've got so far. Yeah. Oh, there's Surveil, baby. There's so much Surveil in here. My decks. Remember Us. Boop. Now, this is what I've got so far. So we have, granted, it's like bracket 3, but I don't even think people pay attention to bracket. Like, I went to my local card store here in my town that I haven't gone to since before COVID, because I haven't played Magic since like before COVID, to like pick up singles and go through their bulk and try and find the cards that I needed. But yeah, Emma Silk, the Unsundered, 3 mana, 2/4 Vigilance, Enhanced Surveillance, Taigen Scheme. Oh, I'm not doing that. Like the Surveil cards are just like all my cantrips and stuff, pretty much. Or a 3 mana 2/4 with Vigilance. Whenever it attacks or enters the battlefield, you loot, draw a card, and discard a card. Then at the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 14 or more cards in your graveyard, you can transform him as Silk. On this transform site, it's a 6/6 Vigilance monster. During your turn, you may play cards from your graveyard, so Yawgmoth's Will. And then if a card or token would be put into your graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Kind of like Yawgmoth's Will, just a little bit worse. Like, so you have to like flip him specifically when you're ready to combo off, because after that, you kind of get like cooked a little bit. Which reminds me, yeah, I mean, it's the same as Yawgmoth's Will effect or whatever, so you don't get to like storm off a whole ton, but it's still very in here. Oh yeah, we have Ashiok the Dream Render, 3 mana 3 mana Planeswalker from the War of the Spark set. Comes with 5 loyalty counters. Basically play him after your board is ready for explosions. Yeah, you basically, I mean, you play him early as a 3 mana 2/4 Vigilance blocker that loots from time to time when you want to get in there. But I mean, you don't, the trick to flip him is a May ability, so you don't really want to flip him until you're ready to combo off. And if you do flip him, you want to strictly play from your graveyard, because like once you play from your hand, it's exiled as well. It does, so it's a little rough in that sense. So you want everything already in your bin that's going to get you to combo off with. But yeah, we have Ashiok. It only minuses, but the minus is target player puts top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard, then exile each opponent's graveyard. So this is graveyard hate, which is very important in Commander. But it also mills you 4 cards, so mills you up to 20 if it stays on the board the entire time and doesn't get attacked. Jace Wilders of Mysteries is a laboratory maniac. You can either +1 him to put the top 2 cards of any player's library into their graveyard and draw a card. So you mill yourself for 2, draw 1. And then his -8 is draw 7 cards. Then if your library has no cards in it, you win the game. Kind of like a self-sufficient lab maniac. We have Archaeomancer, which bounces target instant or returns target instant or sorcery from graveyard to hand. Algor Bolas, 1/3 that lets us look at the top 3 and get an instant or sorcery. It's a lot of spell slinging. Baleful Strix, a classic. Dimir, need this in every deck. 1/1, flying death touch, and when it enters, you draw a card. Jace, flip Jace, one of my favorite Jaces of all time. It's a 2 mana looter, and then when you have 5 or more cards in exiles, or 5 more cards in your graveyard, you flip them, and he flips into a Planeswalker that gives a creature -2/-0, or lets you Snapcaster from your grave for -3 by letting you play an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. And then -9 gives you an emblem. Whenever you cast a spell, target opponent mills 5 cards. So you can mill out your opponent if you want to, but never really get there. Really, it's just like the value and the looting. This is Laboratory Maniac, Win Con, Mire Triton, Self Mill. Phyrexian Metamorph copies an artifact on the field, so it just makes more mana rocks. Snapcaster is what I was alluding to with Jace. Lets you play a card from an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. Solemn Sacracum, probably the most cuttable card. Citrus Supplier, Self Mill, Thassa's Oracle, Win Condition. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is your devotion of blue, which is however many blue pips you have on all the permanents you control. And then put up to one of them on top of your library and the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. But if X is greater than equal to the number of cards in your library, you win the game automatically. So ideally, you mill yourself out, going through all of your cards, and then Thassa's Oracle at the end, have no cards left in your deck and automatically win. Same with Laboratory Maniac, same with Chase Builder Mysteries. And then from there, we just have some like good flashback spells, some board wipes, Tutor to go grab our combo piece, Echo Veons to shuffle back stuff from our graveyard into our library, and then if we need to like reset. Glimpse the Unthinkable, 2 mana, mill 10, milling ourselves like this card. Basically flips Emmett Silk on his own. Mnemonic Betrayal lets us exile all cards from opponents' graveyards and lets us cast them, so lets us steal opponents' combo pieces for a turn. Notion Raid lets us surveil, draw 2, and deal 2 damage to you. This is basically like Read the Bones, but for surveil. Ponder, classic. Resentful Revelation, this is new from the Final Fantasy set. Lets us look at 3, grab 1, and then put the other 2 in our graveyard, so mills us for 2. Rise from the Tides, create some blockers for us. Create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token for each instance or sorcery card in the graveyard. Then we have Serum Visions, another cantrip. Strategic Planning, same exact thing as Resentful Revelation. They just like printed it in black and gave it flashback for some reason. I love power creep in Magic the Gathering, like just pure unadulterated power creep. They gave it flashback for 7, put it in black, and it's the same exact ability. Tome Scour, mill yourself 5. Toxic Deluge is board wipe, and Windfall is everyone discards their hand, draws. It's a Wheel of Fortune, but we discard everything. Excavation, Land Cycles also draws us cards if we discard cards. Offer you can't refuse. Counter spell, removal spell, combo piece. Brain Freeze is a Storm card. So Storm is whenever you play the spell, you copy it for each spell you played before it. So ideally, you just like play a lot of these like really small cantrips like this Tome Scour, the Serum Visions, the Ponder, the Glimpse, stuff like that. Make a lot of mana with our mana rocks, and untapping our mana rocks with Dramatic Reversal, and making more mana with our mana rocks, and then ultimately you just cast enough spells to either kill someone with Aetherflux Reservoir, or we Brain Freeze and mill 3 cards for each time this spell is copied. So if we play 15 spells or whatever, we mill 45 cards from our deck, which I mean can very easily be done. Ball Ritual to make mana, cast down, removal spell, consider, surveil 1, draw 1, another cantrip. Counterspell, Dark Ritual, make mana, dig through time, look at the top 7, find our combo piece, delve, from the graveyard, so like we can get rid of the lands and shit that we don't need from our graveyard eventually to look at top 7 and grab 2. Counter spell, combo piece, removal spell, and counter spell based off what we have in our graveyard. Brainstorm, but it's Final Fantasy. Now you just need the water krill to make that spell lethal. All right, I'll wait. I was looking into water crystal. I didn't need to actually see. Let me know when you're back. A water crystal costs 1 less. If an opponent would mill 1 or more cards, they mill that many cards plus 4 instead. Ah, yo, what's going on, Ice T? How's it going? Give me outing. Welcome in. I mean, the thing is, we don't want to mill our opponents. We want to mill ourselves, because if we mill ourselves, we win the game. And we don't want the opponent to like hit cards that they can play out of their graveyard. How are you, Ice T? It's been a little bit. You can't bully me. You can't bonk me. I'm injured. I'm hurt. I have a hurt paw. It's not great. It's not poggers, as the kids say. What do you mean I remember you? I remember all of my catters. What the fuck? Hello? Ah! We never did get that Mario Kart stream, and now there's a new Mario Kart out as well. I've unfortunately had to take a small hiatus from like playing Street Fighter and Tekken, though, because of my hurt arm. It's very painful to like play anything that requires a whole lot of movement. But we will get to we'll get back to fighting games as soon as it's healed up. Right now I can just like barely wiggle my mouse around and click things. Are we back from the ads yet? Are we back from the ads? So ideally, like with Brain Freeze, we mill ourselves. Like this is a combo piece to let us win. Outside of that, where were we? Oh, ads over. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the water crystal. Like if the water crystal let us mill ourselves, I'd like it, but it has to mill an opponent. We don't want to mill out the opponents. We want to mill ourselves. We want to play out of our graveyard. We don't want to let people do the same. Unless we like mill them out and then like Ashiok them or something. What else? Dramatic Reversal, Remover, Counterspell. Endwalker is reprinted Brainstorm, but with Final Fantasy 14. I want this card so bad. I want this art. This art is gorgeous. I need to get this printing so badly. Factor Fiction. Look at top 5 cards. This card is literally just like get access to all 5 cards, because no matter what pile they put into the graveyard, we can potentially get those cards with Emit Silk, so it doesn't matter what they choose. Removal spell, grab combo pieces. You discard as many cards. Discard X cards from your hand. Search your library for X cards, then shuffle your library and put those cards on top. Mission Briefing, Surveil 2 does Snapcaster. Same thing as Snapcaster, but it has a Surveil 2 on it. Mystical Tutor grabs us combo piece. Narset's Reversal, Anti-Counterspell, Counterspell, Counterspell, Thought Scour Mill 2, draw a card, cantrip, and then we have our rocks. Omniscience for the lulls and funny. Search for Ascanta is a enchantment that turns into a land, and then we have all of our lands. And this also technically can mill us too, if we don't want the card on top. So yeah, I've been working on this deck for a solid week now, and I'm just missing the Brain Freeze, Cabal Ritual, and some of the mana rocks. But I'm so excited to play this game. Or play this deck, sorry. Ah!
Entertainment saw
Yeah, as soon as my arm is healed up, though, I do want to play, we can get back into Street Fighter or Tekken or something. It's just, it really hurts to play, like, active video games right now, unfortunately.
capitalize on the show's popularity and bring the game to a Western audience. And while I'm sure both Upper Deck and Konami were expecting the game
most
to be
Surveil
successful,
pieces,
since its
I mean, Surveil's good. Like, Surveil's very good with the deck. It's just very slow. That's why I just want them on the cantrips only, and like to like draw more cards.
Audience was probably the anime's fan base of kids and teenagers. I don't think they, or anyone really, could have anticipated that Yu-Gi-Oh! Would go on to become one of the most complex popular card games of all time, with a history and lore 18 years in the making and just as deep as the one present in the anime and manga it was based on. While the only experience many people have with Yu-Gi-Oh! Comes from playing the game casually when they were younger, behind the scenes there has always been a fiercely competitive, dynamic, and perpetually evolving metagame. This is the story of Yu-Gi-Oh!'s competitive landscape, and how its many eras were defined by the strategies that dominated it, cards that would take the game by storm, and most importantly, its base of dedicated, creative players both willing and able to push the game to its absolute limit. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game made its debut outside of Japan in March of 2002
music
with
is
the release of The Legend of
egregious.
Blue Eyes White Dragon. And
Holy.
just like the anime had
Yo,
about 6
Bloobs,
months
what's going on? How are you, dude? Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Hope you've been well.
before
Doing
this,
alright,
the game
just
almost
vibing? No,
immediately
I feel
exploded in
that. It's
popularity.
It's a very like chill
it wasn't
day.
just a nerd thing. It wasn't just like a weird person thing. The people that were playing sports are doing it. I mean, boys and girls were all playing it.
Okay, come on now. The people, the people, as someone who played sports during this era, the people who played sports did not play Yu-Gi-Oh. Like we're just capping right off the bat, right? We're just like, there was a very I say that, but I technically played Magic the Gathering at the time, and like Yu-Gi-Oh on the side. But yeah, the people that played like Yu-Gi-Oh in high school definitely was a different subsect of people. They were not the jocks, they were not the sports players.
At this point, though, the game's appeal, while widespread, was still mostly casual, so there was no metagame to speak of yet.
There was like no rule book or anything. LOB didn't really come with anything as a pack, so you really had to talk to the store owner to really get some info about the game.
Yeah, we as a child we had no idea how to play this game.
Sleeves, none of us really had
Yeah, oh no, we had
rubber band.
Yeah, you had the rubber banded deck in a plastic baggie, baby. I had my full Dark Magician turbo deck that just spat out Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl. Played Apprentice Magician and what is it? Apprentice Magician and the God, what was the Old Vindictive Magician and Lady of Faith, and just like fucking turboed out Dark Magician as much as possible.
Fortunately, this initial Wild West period was pretty brief.
No one knew what a fucking tribute summon was.
Saw another major release, and the roots of the competitive game began to take shape.
Man, I want
Although
one of
the
those
Legend
structure
Blue Eyes booster
decks.
set was responsible for
I love the
introducing
Kaiba
people to
Blue
the
Eyes
game, the
art
release of the Kaiba
and
starter decks
Yugi
was what
Dark
really
Magician
propelled
art.
it into the mainstream.
Yugi Kaiba format, that's like when, you know, a lot of people first got into the game, they got like their, you know, their starter
I love that they
The
call it
most
a
important thing
format.
about these starter decks is that they gave all potential players access to the game's official rulebook. This, of course, allowed a
I
competitive
wonder
scene to
I
even
wonder if you can still find like how much a Yugi starter deck. Okay, it's been reloaded multiple times. Fuck. A TCG player Kaiba first edition starter deck 5K, $4,500. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a Yugi starter deck anytime soon. God, that Dark Magician is gorgeous though. 1996. Jesus. Oh, the Yugi. Oh, hold on. Is this? Oh, it's opened. $430. Okay, I mean that could be eventually doable. 325. It's not first edition, but I do not give a shit. And we got something to work towards, chat. We need. All right, we're gonna do a subathon, gonna do a donathon, so I could get a Yugi starter deck.
And many players showed a clear
Yugi boomers now. What the fuck is a link summon? True.
That deck the most optimally.
Like we didn't even know to buy multiple copies of this. Like if I could ever go back in time, I would slap the shit out of childhood Neko, childhood Lune, and I would get like multiple copies of the starter deck from my local Hastings or Blockbuster. I remember like how I remember the day. I don't remember like the actual date or whatever, but I remember the day, the moment that we got me and my brother got the Yugi and Kaiba starter decks for Yu-Gi-Oh and played it at my grandmother's house. Like we walked from my grandmother's house across like the ballpark that was by our house to our local Hastings, picked up the starter decks and walked back and immediately played each other. And I got so mad at my brother because like we were learning the rules as we were playing, but like I got so mad at him at the time because I lost, because like I couldn't beat Blue Eyes, and I'm like, this is not like the anime. I remember saying like, this is not like the anime. Like I'm supposed to win. Yugi Dark Magician is supposed to be stronger than Blue Eyes. Like there's nothing in my deck that beats the Blue Eyes. How do I beat this deck? Oh, I was so salty as a kid.
This is a cross of chess and Pokemon. How exactly does one play Yu-Gi-Oh?
One could, at this point, describe Yu-Gi-Oh's rules as simple. Simple enough, anyway, that many people were able to pick up the basics just by watching the anime.
See, each card has an attack number and a defense number. First player to eliminate their opponent's life points wins the duel.
Like many other trading card games, Yu-Gi-Oh is built around the idea of stripping...
If I could go back in time, I'd go back to when Pokemon Sun and Moon came out, slap the shit out of Teenage Mutant, tell them you're gonna play this game, you're gonna pick the Fire Cat, and you're gonna like it. I would also save all of my classic Magic cards too. Like I would go back in time, buy an alpha beta set, and just store it in my childhood closet in a like do not open box. Like keep it safe as humanly possible, and just hold on to that shit. And so I'd have retirement money, so I could actually afford to eat during the day.
In this case, life points. points. The most straightforward and typically the most effective way to decrease a player's life points has always been to deal damage by attacking with monster cards. Unless stated otherwise, all monsters have the inherent ability to declare an attack either on an opposing player or on another monster, and a monster's attack point score is indicative of how much damage it deals when attacking and how powerful it is relative to other monsters. Given the landscape of the early game, it may have actually been true at this point that this attack point score was the most important thing about a monster. Following the release of both starter decks, the card pool was still fairly limited. While Legend of Blue Eyes brought a whopping 126 cards into the game,
like I don't know if you guys had to do this as a kid. I was a fucking nerd. I still am a fucking nerd. But like anytime I got good grades on my report card, or had to go to the doctor for like shots or emergencies or anything, and I was like, I was good at the doctor. My reward, the only thing I asked for is just like a booster pack, a boosty, from my parents. Like we'd have to stop by Walmart on the way home and get me a boosty pack of Yu-Gi-Oh, Legend of Blue Eyes, or Magic Ruler, God, what was the other one? Labyrinth and Nightmare was like one I got like so many packs of as a kid. But like, yeah, that was my reward. That's all I asked for, was just like booster packs. There was the one local card shop in my hometown was across the street from my mother's favorite restaurant to go to and like relax at and drink at. So we would go to that restaurant, and like after me and my brother were done eating, and my mother wanted to fucking chill and wanted like alone time and to like fucking like relax after work and drink, we would walk across the highway from that restaurant to the card shop and just spend like 3 hours there while my mother was like still at the restaurant, enjoying their free time away from us, and then would come pick us up afterwards. But me and my brother knew that she was like getting sauced up in the restaurant, so we would wait till she came picked us up to ask for money to buy booster packs, to buy cards. She's nice and good and like inebriated, in a good mood. We really twisted the knife and made sure to get some booster packs.
Almost completely useless.
I was a manipulative little fuck.
Awful. Monsters didn't even have effects. The only true effect monster was Exodia's head.
87 of these 126 cards were monster cards, and of those, 82 were either normal monsters or fusion monsters with no effect. Starter decks Yugi and Kaiba collectively added 59 more cards into the card pool, and 35 of them were also normal monsters. This meant that most of the available monsters were clearly and undeniably worse than the truly exceptional few worth playing.
La Jin was like a beast. 1800 beatdown, let's go.
La Jin,
is that Simo?
The Lamp was a level 4 monster with 1800 attack points, making it the most powerful monster a player could summon without tributing other monsters. Since the game prohibited players from playing any more than 3 copies of the same card in their deck, other weaker monsters like Neo the Magic Swordsman and Battle Ox,
God, I love Neo the Magic Swordsman,
attack, were played alongside La Jin, as they provided more consistent access to powerful monsters that could be normal summoned immediately. Giant Soldier of Stone and even occasionally monsters like Aquamador and Mystical Elf saw play due to their high defense value.
I played this shit out of these 2 cards though, like Mystical Elf and Giant Soldier of Stone. I played at 3 copies.
Level 4 lower monster by far, but cards like these could typically only be used defensively or as setup for the future.
Man, why are you cozy? Listen, I'm hurt. I'm injured. I've got a sore paw. I gotta be cozy. It's a chill day. I can't play video games. It hurts. Hurts to play video games. Yo, the best one tribute.
Summon Skull was very strong. One tribute monster that was the same attack as a Dark Magician.
While it certainly would have been cool if the format had been split between
Like Super Heavy Samurai?
and people playing Blue Eyes.
Bro, what
Dark
do you
Magician
know
was
about that
made
Tribute
obsolete by
1
the
Summon
level 6
Skull, though?
Summon Skull had, without a doubt, more attack points than any other one tribute monster in the game, and was even more powerful than many 2 tribute monsters like Gaia the Fierce Knight and Red Eyes Black Dragon. Blue Eyes, on the other hand, was, with no caveat, no asterisk, the most powerful monster in the game, but this came at the cost of it being much more difficult to summon than Summon Skull. Summon Skull was the more likely of the two to actually make its way onto the field, but if a person could manage to summon Blue Eyes, there wasn't a single monster that could kill it in battle aside from another copy of Blue Eyes. While these
Childhood Neko raging at fucking Blue Eyes.
Decks, they weren't the only
it's like even the only way I could even trade with it was I had Book of Secret Arts that came in the starter deck that buffed Dark Magician by 500. It's my only opportunity, my only chance.
Did exist at this point, but many of them had effects that just weren't powerful enough to make up for their lackluster stats.
No card can stand up to this. It was true. It was so true. I fucking hated Blue Eyes. Then Man-Eater, like stuff like Man-Eater Bug came out.
And even though it was still powerful, the weakest of these 4.
And now we've gone full circle. Now I'm back to hating Blue Eyes again. Just because of Primite.
Probably Hain-Hain. Hain-Hain, like many other early effect monsters, has a flip effect, meaning that its effect only activates whenever it's flipped face up, either by the person who initially summoned it face down, or as a result of being attacked while face down. Hain-Hain's effect allows a player to put any monster on the field back in the hand of its owner, which again was fairly powerful, but it was in most cases a strictly worse version of either Wall of Illusion or Man-Eater Bug.
Yeah, the bug, the boy.
Wall of Illusion was arguably the best of the 4, as it had both a powerful effect and a respectable stat line. Its 1850 defense stat made it powerful enough to survive being attacked by anything that could be summoned without tributing, and on top of that...
Yo, real fast, Catters. Would you? Would you? Can I be honest for a second? Is this a safe space, Catters? Is this a safe space? Would you get up in that Willisy? The Wall of Illusi? Oh, I would. I 100% would. That's the easiest wood of my life.
It would always at least temporarily remove anything that tried to kill it from the field.
Oh, I'd plaster that wall. Oh.
Effectively served the same purpose as Hain-Hain, but unlike Hain-Hain, it would usually remain on the field after being attacked due to its
I'd show her my 1800
defense stat, and it was also able to remove multiple monsters from the field, since its effect was not a flip effect and instead went off whenever it was attacked, even if the attack destroyed it, and even if it had already used the effect before. This made removing it
the
from
Wall
the
of
field
Illusi
incredibly annoying, as the only monsters powerful enough to do it had to be tribute summoned, and even if they were able to destroy the Wall of Illusion, they would be returned to the hand afterwards, and their owner would need to go through the process of tribute summoning them all over again. Man-Eater Bug and Trapmaster, the last of these 4, were, like Hain-Hain, flip monsters with removal-based effects. They actually seem to be part of a 3-card series along with Armed Ninja, as each of their effects targeted and destroyed one of the game's 3 core kinds of cards: monsters, magic cards, and trap cards. Nobody played Armed Ninja because most powerful magic cards weren't worth setting face down, and with the sole exception of Swords of Revealing Light, didn't remain on the field after being activated. The ability
why the hell would you want to smash the thing from fucking Doctor Who? Oh, is she British? Chat, the Wall of Illusion is a 10 out of 10, except she's British. What is she now?
Pitiful attack and defense scores of both Man-Eater Bug and Trapmaster. Man-Eater Bug, Legend, and Wall of Illusion were the game's first true staple monsters, and found their way into many decks, both competitive and casual alike. Trapmaster wasn't quite as omnipresent as any of these cards. But
do you think the Wall of Illusion gives live birth?
It was still popular among competitive players due to the power of trap cards. Trap cards offered the unique benefit of being usable during either player's turn, and were usually designed to take advantage of this. There were only 9 of them released between the first booster set and both starter decks, but a surprising number of them were actually pretty good.
God, Reverse Trap was so bad. Reverse Trap was so bad.
Pretty much anyone who played the game ran both.
Does it even have sexual reproduction? Does it even have sexual reproduction? Does it even have sexual reproductive organs? I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out,
forms of
bloobs.
monster removal in the game, and was particularly useful against
I'll take
monsters
that
that
bullet.
needed to be tribute summoned. Wabaku, meanwhile, was one of the only cards in the game that offered players any sort of protection from their opponent, and it was pretty good protection at that. It essentially skipped the other player's battle phase after being activated, and since
It's
it
got
could
at
be
least
activated
one
at
hole.
almost any point during either player's turn, stop.
I'm gonna I'm gonna punch a hole in that drywall, if you know what I mean.
It was really difficult. Another trap card that was extremely popular, but not quite as good as either of these two, was Reinforcements. The focus placed on attack points and the battle phase during this period allowed this card to shine. As good as the game's few viable trap cards were, however, they couldn't compete with the power of what was easily the best kind of card in the game, magic cards.
Dun, 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 dun. Watsy Sue! Cease and desist!
Like trap cards, magic cards had effects that were, at the time, typically much more powerful than those given to monsters. Unlike trap cards and even flip monsters, however, magic cards can be activated immediately, with no setup at all required from the player. This made them inherently more powerful than most.
Oh, I forgot Sergeant
Kaiba
Kaiba got a fucking card destruction.
Two of the most popular early magic cards were Fissure and Swords of Revealing Light. These two were pretty similar in function to Trap Hole and Wabaku, respectively. One could get rid of a monster, and the other was a powerful stalling card. Both saw about as much success as the staple trap cards of the era, but they were far from the best magic cards in the game. They were completely eclipsed by another group of cards, often referred to
Was
as
Demise even out during the card of Demise? Don't think so. I think that came out in Labyrinth of Nightmare. No, you had the staples. The staples were your Pot of Greed, I think Graceful Charity. I can't remember if Graceful Charity was in the first two sets. But yeah, you had Pot of Greed, Raigeki, Dark Hole, Change of Heart, Fissure. Yeah, shit. Demise, the ritual monster. I just saw him on card destruction. No, oh god, no. The only ritual monster that existed was like, Hungry Burger. I think at the time was like the first ritual monster. Like we didn't even get Blackluster Soldier until Labyrinth of Nightmare. Ba, 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 ba.
These weren't just the most powerful magic cards in the game. They were, by a wide margin, the most powerful cards in the game.
I mean, these cards are iconic, right?
Those are like classic.
Any deck that included them was better for it, and so they were played by pretty much anyone who had access to them. They were so powerful, and so widely used, in fact, that they led to the creation of the game's first Forbidden and Limited list, where many of them have remained for the entire life of the game.
God, I remember when Exodia was not forbidden. Holy shit, or not limited to one.
The first edition of this list went into effect at the beginning.
Like there were
of May,
literally
but it
just
didn't
people
actually ban
like
any
building
cards.
fucking 3 copies of every Exodia piece.
10 cards were limited and 2 were semi-limited. The first 5 cards to be placed in the limited section were the 5 pieces of Exodia. While these cards did act as an
I remember
alternate
the
win
first
condition, they have
tournaments
almost never been
that did not have these cards
the
limited.
center of any of the game's most powerful decks. It was probably for the best that they were placed here, but it's hard to say that this had a substantial effect on the metagame. What ended up being far more impactful was the decision to limit the previously mentioned Power 5 magic cards.
I can completely understand why these cards were all limited in the context of 2002 Yu-Gi-Oh! Just because these are game/format warping cards for the time. When you have a card that literally just says destroy all monsters on your opponent's field, it's crazy, right? And it's so funny that a card that literally just says draw 2 cards was limited, but like now in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Sense is banned. That just goes to show how powerful drawing cards is in this game.
The 2 cards placed in the semi-limited section were also magic cards. While card destruction was not omnipresent in the early metagame, it may have been problematic if everyone could play 3 copies of it in their deck. This card in multiple quantities hypothetically makes it very easy to force another player to lose by decking out, and that aside, it was also occasionally played as a powerful draw card since Pot of Greed was now limited. Swords was a pretty big deal because, unlike Wabaku, it allowed players to stall for 3 turns instead of just 1.
Like, stalling 3 turns was like, oh, I can draw into my Raigeki.
This ban list was the last major event of Yu-Gi Kaiba format, which meant that the game was able
I had to think this is how Hungry Burger was green-lighted. Konami production team. All right, guys. How do we get Americans to buy our cards? Play 1. Let's make a gun into a monster. I mean, they did do that. They did literally have Barrel Dragon before a Hungry Burger. And then I like the way you think, but censorship issues. Employee 2. How about we turn a burger into a monster? Brilliant, genius.
With Dark Hole and Raigeki Limited, Fissure
No
had become
notes.
the most consistent way
Cinema.
to get monsters off of the field with a card effect. It was one of the most reliable ways to get rid of a wall of illusion without attacking it, and it also made committing to a tribute summon too early very risky, which led many players to wait to summon their deck's boss monster until they had at least 2 monsters already on the field. This is one of a handful of reasons that Summon Skull Beatdown ultimately became the best deck of the format. Setting up a field of 3 monsters before summoning the Blue Eyes was pretty tough, and in many cases, even if a player properly played around Fissure, their Blue Eyes would just get destroyed by Trap Hole, or perhaps even Raigeki or Dark Hole. For this reason, those truly dedicated to making Blue Eyes work often played Lord of D and the Flute of Summoning Dragon, cards that
Yo, the combo!
A handful of other cards were experimented with and saw scattered success throughout this period, but none would stick around for long. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was on the verge of its first major shakeup, brought about
Soul Exchange was actually like played as a one-up in a lot of people's lists. Yeah, Metal Raiders. This is the series that changed it all. This is
Metal Raiders added
Yo, Witch of the Black Forest, Sengan,
and thus nearly doubled the available card pool. Of course, not all 144 were actually good, but given the sheer volume of new cards, the game was bound.
Harpies. I remember building Harpies.
And Summon Skull Beatdown decks in particular continued to dominate the meta. The cards added in Metal Raiders almost completely changed how these decks.
Yeah, effect monsters, baby. Heavy Storm, Solemns, 7-colored fish. 7-colored fish beat down. There's my Magician of Faith.
This set's magic cards were actually largely overshadowed by many of its new traps, which brought with them the idea of a brand new.
Oh yeah, Mirror Force.
Negation.
You activated my trap card actually started to matter.
Unlike, for example, Trap Hole and Wabaku, these were not cards meant to respond to one action or effect with another. The purpose of these new cards was to prevent certain things from happening entirely. There were 5 new cards with a negation clause in this set, and 4 of them in particular were designed to negate individual cards. All of them were counter trap cards, meaning that they couldn't be responded to once they were activated except with other counter trap cards, and they all allowed the player to trade some of their resources in order to completely negate the activation or summon of another card.
Not to sound like a Yugi boomer, not to sound like a boomer at all, but God, I kind of miss when like monsters didn't have the effect of Solemn Judgment. Like your boss monsters didn't have the effect of Solemn Judgment. And that you had to like actually play back row.
What's interesting is they all asked the player for something different in exchange. They all had a different.
Okay, boomer, stop. I mean, like I think like monsters having built-in removal and stuff is fine, but like monsters having like Omni negates or summon negates and stuff, like fucking Wave Hiking Caesar, sucks. Like, I think it should be something that you had to like draw into, like unsearchable, or like something that has like cards to play around it, like Heavy Storm or whatever.
Did not like Solemn Judgment during its original release. Like, it's the Omni Negate, but you have to pay half your life points.
I think it's fascinating that this didn't just become like a staple immediately out of the gate. Like, I think looking back, some people are probably just like, I don't know why we just weren't all running 3 of this just because of how powerful of a card it is.
They valued life points a lot more because it was just a race at the time. It wasn't about maintaining a solid position as much.
Yeah, you Solemn Judgment someone's normal summon, and if they somehow still are able to get out like Summon Skull or whatever, you're dead in 2 swings.
7 Tools of the Bandit, on the other hand, did see immediate and widespread success, with Magic Jammer being the more popular of the 2. Despite how good many of these new traps were, the Power 5 were still the best cards in the game, and negating any of them was typically better than negating another trap card.
Like, oh, but what if they Raigeki me and I spent all this time setting up my entire field and they're just gonna destroy it all? Then they started to realize, hey, I can use stuff in my hand to kind of substitute the destruction.
That said, there was one new trap card in this set that could give the Power 5 a run for their money.
Yeah, good old Mirror Force. No one plays around it.
Also had a negation clause. It negated monster attacks, but what was much more important was after it negated the attack.
Mirror Force is just, it's a board wipe, but it's a board wipe that you get to use on your opponent's turn, which I think what was so appealing about it.
Especially with Mirror Force, where people have to manage the resource, not overcommit. That's when that evolution started to really take place in TCG anyway.
Crest Clown!
The monsters added in Metal Raiders were
Illusionist face.
if not
God, I
even
loved
more
Illusionist
impactful than
Faceless
the new
Mage.
trap. First of all, there were 2 new monsters that challenged La Jin's position as the game's most powerful level 4 monsters, 7-colored fish and Dark Elf. These 2 almost immediately made many of the normal monsters that had been popular before the release of Metal Raiders obsolete. With 7-colored fish in the game, there was no reason to play Neo or Battleox, and cards like Mystical Elf and Giant Soldier of Stone were a lot less useful than Dark Elf since they couldn't be used to attack.
People started to identify, like, they started min-maxing. If you want to summon a level 4 monster, it has to have 1800 attack, or else it's worthless.
This set also included plenty of good effect monsters, and most of them followed the same design philosophy as the ones in Legend of Blue Eyes in both starter decks. A lot of them could be split into groups based on what they were designed to do, and in most cases this was to manipulate and control resources, but unlike their predecessors, these new cards didn't always do so by removing cards from the field. Magician of Faith and Mask of Darkness, for example, allowed the player to recycle magic and trap cards respectively.
Damn, I should have been making Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube videos with the kid when I was a kid.
Magic cards can be
showing off my magician deck.
Recycling them is a lot more effective than recycling trap cards.
I would have been a millionaire, chat. I would have been a millionaire.
Anyway, and most of the good ones
I was way ahead of the vibe, way ahead of the curve.
This, she was good enough to become a metagame staple, and many people chose to play the maximum 3 copies of her in their deck. While we're on the subject of spellcaster type effect monsters, there was another really good one released in this set.
Witch, baby.
She and Sengen mostly did the same thing. They could search the player's deck for pretty much any monster they wanted. So
3 Witch, 3 Sengen, 3 Magician of Faith, 3 Apprentice Magician.
In Sengen's case, or less than 1,500 defense points in Witch's case. Even though the card pool was very small at this point, these 2 had a vast range of search targets. They could even search for each other, and triggering their effects wasn't difficult at all. None of the other effect monsters released in this set were anywhere close to as popular as Sengen, Witch, or Magician of Faith, but there were still a handful worth mentioning. Crass Clown and Dream Clown saw occasional success as
Clown Control,
brand new Clown Control deck,
where you're actually trying to like kind of protect your clowns and switch them back and forth from defense, attack, and pop things while also using resource cards like Sangan and Witch. I believe that's one of the other decks that pops up during this era.
At the same time, White Magical Hat and Masked Sorcerer laid the foundation for hand control, which was nowhere near as powerful as it would eventually become at this point, but saw light experimentation in a meta that was still mostly dominated by Beatdown and Dragon Rush. The main thing that kept these monsters out of the spotlight was their stats. Unlike most of the other staple effect monsters of the time, these cards didn't do anything upon being sent to the graveyard. In order to get anything out of their effects, players actually needed to keep them on the field, and doing so was pretty difficult when cards like Legend, Dark Elf, and 7-colored fish were all over the place. The clowns could be protected by cards like Wabaku and Mirror Force, and their effects could be used to get rid of any monsters more powerful than them, but there weren't a lot of ways to reliably trigger White Magical Hat's effect. There were a handful of halfway decent equipped magic cards released in this set that provided monsters with pretty substantial attack point boosts, but none of them were as strong as they needed to be to turn White Magical Hat into an actual threat.
There wasn't enough to really buff him up yet. You don't have access to spare, but like people do start to get.
God, I remember.
Like, if I can do that.
One of the first Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments I went to as a kid. I got so mad. I was all right. I'm noticing a theme. I was a salty little shit when I was a kid, chat. I was salty as fuck when it came to card games. But I was so mad. I got knocked out round 1 by a friend of mine from school because he played just an equipped deck. I forgot what was it. I think it was Mahavilo. I mean, he came from like a much better off family than I did, so he had like all the good cards. But like he literally just like equipped a fucking Mahavilo or random level 4 monster with like 5 equipped spells, and I could not get over it. I could not beat it, and I'm just like, but you can't do that. You can only have 1 equip on a monster or whatever, and like the store owner was like, no, you absolutely could do that. I was so mad, and then I learned to play after getting knocked out of the first round. Then I like went and sat with the fucking like high school kids that were there and learned was taught how to play Magic the Gathering. So that they could make a Magic the Gathering tournament.
Out was Heavy Storm. This card is Dark Hole, but for magic and trap cards, and it was invaluable for dealing with problematic pieces of disruption like Trap Hole and Mirror Force.
Heavy Storm taught people how to be conservative.
Oh, this was before Benkei. This was just Axe of Despair, Malevolent Nuzzler. Trying to think of what else was like some of the cards I saw. The bead with Dark Pendant. That was one of the equip spells too. God, I remember so much. Like the I have such a good memory of like traumatic times of my childhood when I was traumatized as a kid because I lost a game of Yu-Gi-Oh.
You just can't set it in the back row. It's like you always have to fear and respect Storm.
Because while Heavy Storm was in the format, if you went like set 5 pass, Heavy Storm was going to literally just obliterate you.
As with the previous batch of cards, many of these new cards were strong enough that it called for an update to the ban list. In July 2002, just 1 month following the set's release, Mirror Force was limited, and Sangan, Witch of the Black Forest, and Heavy Storm were all semi-limited. As was the case before, most decks were largely composed of a bunch of the same good staples, and only really diverged when it came to a handful of individual cards. That said, Beatdown and Dragon Rush were still different enough that they were given different names, and both were still all over the place. There was now an even more noticeable slant in favor of Beatdown, as the consistency gap between these decks had grown wider. Witch of the Black Forest could grab Summon Skull straight from the deck, and Magic Jammer could negate the Flute of Summoning Dragon. Now that Mirror Force was also a part of the equation, actually keeping a Blue Eyes on the field was slightly more challenging, and while this applied to Beatdown players as well, it was a far less serious problem for them due to how much easier it was for them to summon their boss monster. Dragon Rush players could still take advantage.
Nothing has changed. Now that I'm an adult, I get salty about losing.
Only helpful if they had both.
Now that I'm an adult, I get salty losing a game of Yu-Gi-Oh.
The Flute of Summoning Dragon
just for different
dragon
reasons.
Monsters to summon with it already in their hand. Another big way this format differed from the last was in the availability of staple cards. Most of the good stuff released before Metal Raiders was included in one of the two structure decks, the only exceptions being Raigeki and Pot of Greed. Both of these cards were also pretty affordable, especially when compared to Mirror Force and Magic Jammer, which demanded a much heavier
I did not have a Mirror
like
Force or Magic Jammer as a kid.
Pricey, so this time around, many of the format's best cards didn't see as much play as they otherwise would have, solely due to how expensive they were on the secondary market. And as bad as this may have seemed at the time, this problem was about to get a lot worse. In the months following the release of Metal Raiders, Yu-Gi-Oh's competitive scene began to pick up steam. There were no high-profile tournaments to speak of yet, but sanctioned events were hosted locally and regularly at game stores all over the world. Perhaps to incentivize players to attend these events, licensed tournament stores were given tournament packs, unique boosters that could only be...
Oh my god, I remember these tournament packs! What the fuck? I should have kept them! Holy shit! Yo, I have no idea. I don't remember what cards were in them, but I remember seeing... So, like, where my locals was happening for Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of the time, I had to go to my local, like, mall to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, tournaments. Because the arcade inside the mall that was across the, like, I guess, hall or whatever you call across the entrance of the mall, was the movie theater, and then across on the other side of it was the arcade, and the arcade ran the Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. And I remember getting like one of these packs after getting like knocked out in the first couple of rounds, and then just like sitting there and playing fucking Tekken 3 on arcade machine, and that's how I like developed a love for fighting games. Oh my god, it's all coming back.
In an official tournament.
Holy.
The first tournament pack entered circulation on September 1st, and it introduced 30 new cards to the game. Most of these new cards weren't any good. As a matter of fact, all of them were pretty awful.
Okay, I think I remember getting Elf's Light. 1850 4-star.
If you played Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day, you understand Mechanical Chaser's legacy.
1850. The one card to beat Lejin by 50 points.
And for the longest time, that mattered a lot.
Up until this point, the player base may have taken for granted how accessible the game's best monsters had been. 7-colored fish and Lejin were anything but expensive, even though the metagame...
I had 7-colored fish. I did not have Lejin.
True because they were easy to get a hold of, and Mechanical Chaser quickly proved that.
But the thing is, no one could really get their hands on this card because it was a tournament pack card.
Tournament packs only came with 3 cards per pack instead of the usual 9, and they were also less likely to contain foil cards. To put things into perspective, Axe Raider is a card that would have been outdated by the time the first starter decks came out, but because of how rare it was more expensive than many of the best cards in the game.
Axe Raider was a really expensive card when it first came out.
Mechanical Chaser, on the other hand, was actually really good, and it was even more rare than Axe Raider was.
$200.
As
Jesus.
minor as the difference may seem,
I would have
Mech
been
Chaser
rich.
was essentially a better version of a card that had been the bread and butter of competitive play all the way up until its release. It was bound to have a noticeable effect on the game. However, seeing as each copy of the card was worth $200, it was pretty rare to run into somebody who played one, much less three of it in their deck. The advantage that these few players had over the rest of the player base was pretty substantial, though.
It was just a landslide. So I have this guy from my locals named Kyle Miller, and he
Shoutouts to Kyle. That was the friend that beat me. Not Kyle Miller, but that was my childhood friend from school that fucking trounced my ass. He was a Kyle as well. Fuck Kyles.
Chasers. Kyle started to go over to these 50-60 man tournaments, taking down like every single one, winning full boxes, and Billy only remembers the frustration of running into Mech Chaser time and time again, and it just being this money wall.
The original Wales.
2 weeks after the release of the first tournament pack, Magic Ruler made its way onto store shelves. While Metal Raiders did much to expand the game's pool of viable trap cards,
Oh, is this when we got
this set was heavily focused on Magic.
Is this when we got starter deck Joey? Starter deck Joey and starter deck
A Magic-themed booster set seemed like
Pegasus?
a bad idea at the time, since for it to be any good, it would have to include at least a few Magic cards as strong as the Power 5. Against all odds, Magic Ruler actually pulled this off by introducing 5 Power Play Magic cards of its own. The 3 most famous cards in the set, Confiscation, Delinquent Duo, and the Forceful Sentry, all allowed the player to remove cards from their opponent's hand. Delinquent Duo was technically the best, since it discarded 2 cards at the same time.
Delinquent Duo, I don't know who in testing thought that card was okay.
Delinquent Duo was such a degenerate card. Rather than just playing your own game, you're just not letting your opponent play at all. They have to lose 2 cards right away, so your starting hand is now 3 cards.
But the others had the advantage of letting the player choose which card they wanted to get rid of.
I'm just gonna look at your hand and get rid of your card.
Confiscation, even though it only rips 1, the hand knowledge that you get from your opponent is almost better than ripping out a card with Delinquent Duo. So like that's a debate that's been going on forever.
At this point, life points is starting to matter less and less, and people are realizing that, hey, control is probably the way to go. As long as you have at least 1 life point left, you don't lose. And that's like what Magic Ruler really pushed for, like Confiscation. A lot of these cards, they have life point cost.
Painful Choice was a few years ahead of its time, but it was by no means bad because of this. It could turn itself into any one of the 5 best cards left in the player's deck, and with the help of already popular cards like Monster Reborn and Magician of Faith, it could give them access to 2 or even 3 of the 5 cards.
If you have 5 ideal targets to put into your hand, you can just put out all 5.
Painful Choice really doesn't take its own towards chaos, I want to say, but right now people are trying to figure out, can I use it with Magician of Faith and make it worth it?
Finally, there was Snatch Steal. Unlike most equipped cards, Snatch Steal didn't do anything to beef up the monsters of the person playing it. It was actually meant to be equipped to an opponent's monster, at which point control of the equipped monster would change. Though Snatch Steal...
God, wasn't there like a poison card? Like a poison potion or something that you equipped to your opponent's monster?
But this was as good as it got in terms of cards that boosted attack points, and unlike Stim Pack, it didn't have any glaring drawbacks.
Oh, I remember Stim Pack. Ritual spells! Alright, yeah, this is when we got,
This set's contributions extend beyond.
I think this is when we got relinquished.
It also introduced 3 new kinds of Magic cards to the game. Quick play cards are a sort of hybrid between trap cards and traditional Magic cards. They can be activated from the hand just like regular Magic cards, but if they are set face down, then they can be activated during either player's turn just like trap cards can. Magic Ruler included 4 of these, but only 2 saw any actual success. Rush Recklessly was like Reinforcements, but better in every way. It didn't need to be set before being used, and it also offered a bigger attack boost. It wasn't as strong as Axe of Despair, but it was far more versatile, and it wasn't really susceptible to being destroyed the same way equipped cards were. This was also fairly important following the release of Magic Ruler, since the set also featured Mystical Space Typhoon, a new way for players to remove threats in the back row. While the card lacked the overwhelming power of Heavy Storm, like Fissure, it was a much-needed alternative to a mass removal card that many players ran as many copies of as they could.
Spell and Trap Destruction back in the old days of Yu-Gi-Oh! They viewed it as like, wow, this card is really powerful.
Continuous cards are exactly what they sound like. They stay on the field after being activated until they're destroyed. There were also 4 of these in Magic Ruler, and while none of them were good enough to be staples, 3 of them formed the backbone of the first popular burn deck. The goal of a burn deck is to kill the other player through effect damage. This was possible before the release of Magic Ruler thanks to cards like Just Desserts, but it was nowhere near as practical as it became with the help of many newly released cards. Depending on what the other person was playing, Messenger Piece, Swords of Revealing Light. Though it couldn't stop the other player from attacking with weaker monsters like Sengen, it was perfectly capable of keeping the game's most powerful monsters at bay, and this was important as it meant that anyone who played it had significantly more time to accrue resources that they could use to burn through their opponent's life points. Cards like Ukazi and Just Desserts were obviously effective enough at this.
I remember Bakura playing Just Desserts in the anime, and Chain Energy.
For don't know, for Chain Energy, either player now, no matter what they want to play, is going to have to pay 1,000 life points to normal summon, special summon, set, or activate cards from his or her respective hand. Oh, God. Oh boy, our opponent drew Pole. So each player is going to have to pay 500 life points to advance on that game state. What a combo. Enjoy only playing 5 cards, by the way. This is really edgy game state. Like, holy shit. This might go to deck out.
The set's most interesting additions to the card pool were Ritual cards. Ritual monsters were a brand new kind of monster that could not be normal summoned and instead had to be special summoned through the use of Ritual magic cards. While this was cool in theory, in practice the Ritual summoning mechanic was deeply flawed. Most of them had no effect, and to summon them a player needed a...
You just had like you had to have the spell and the monster, and there was no way of searching them out outside of Manju and the Eagle, like Sonic Bird. And I think those cards only got printed in the structure deck Pegasus. I think that was the first time they got printed.
Like Rituals, just mechanically, and this is like before we got a lot of the stuff we have now, but like it's a 3-card investment. Well, technically 2 because you keep the Ritual monster. But
like I'm glad Rituals are like getting support and are playable now.
And then
just fucking Mitsurugi is so pushed.
So you use the Ritual spell and the monsters. You neg 2 to summon the monster.
This created numerous issues with consistency, as oftentimes a player would have one or the other but not both. Then on top of that, the player needed to tribute other monsters as part of the process, all to summon a card that offers...
Yo, Joshua Santos, what's going on? How's it going, dude? Yu-Gi-Oh! Peaked and died with Battle City.
And it's like, this is all you're getting for your cards?
I don't know. That's hard to say. I think peak was synchro summoning. I'm not a huge fan of pendulums. I do like link summoning though, and Xyz isn't bad either.
Was relinquished, who actually had
my boy, my favorite.
It was also by a wide margin the lowest level Ritual.
You gotta give him the suck, chat.
That it was the easiest to summon. These things weren't enough to completely make up for the previously mentioned issues with Ritual summoning, but it brought enough to the table that it was occasionally played. Only in decks built specifically to take advantage of it, however. Speaking of monsters, despite the set's theme, there were actually
there's the Mahavilo, there's that little shit.
Only a handful of them made their way into the metagame. Many of the monsters in the set followed in the footsteps of Sengen and Witch by offering players resources upon being sent to the graveyard.
Mystic Tomato!
There were 6 different monsters that could all, upon being destroyed by battle, summon any monster of a specific...
Yu-Gi-Oh! Players try not to claim when Yu-Gi-Oh! Died challenge. Difficulty impossible. I think Yu-Gi-Oh!'s fine. I think it's enough. It's just updated with the times.
Instead of just adding them to
if I want to, and the fact that there's like alternate formats you can play, that if you want to play a slower Yu-Gi-Oh! You can. There's nothing stopping you.
But the many stipulations attached to the process kept most of these cards out of the competitive discourse. Mystic Tomato stood out from the rest, however, and almost immediately saw moderate success, since its ability to summon dark monsters made it a direct pipeline to many of a player's most powerful tools. Nimble Momonga and Giant Germ did something similar, but were at least initially not quite as popular. Unlike the elemental recruiters, these cards only let players summon extra copies of themselves instead of picking whatever card they wanted, but in exchange, the player was allowed to summon up to 2 monsters at once instead of just 1. Since Momonga summoned itself,
when was Thunder Dragon printed?
Caused a bigger net swing in life points upon being destroyed. It was more popular than Giant Germ, but both were mostly ignored in favor of Mystic Tomato for.
Is that only that? Was that the chaos? Only the chaos set?
Magic Ruler's release, but it wouldn't truly catch on until much later.
I love Nimble Momonga. I played it automatically at this point. Actually, like I caught on to it somewhat early. One thing people don't like is that you could draw 2. This is one of the first cards people start this guy. Well, you don't want to draw 2 of these.
None of these monsters could compare to Cyberjar, though. Upon being flipped face up, it could wipe out an entire board and then give both players 5 cards split between their hand and field.
Cyberjar is freaking crazy.
I love the card, but it was
recently unbanned Cyberjar.
Like giving your opponent 5
recently
cards,
to 3 now.
5 cards, blowing up the entire field.
Cyberjar to me is such a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Like it is one of the most high variance
Cyberjar stun, baby,
I've ever seen in my life. Like it's just like there's no other way to put it. This card could not exist in any other card game.
On October 1st, 2 weeks after the release of Magic Ruler, the Forbidden Unlimited list received another update, which limited Cyberjar, all of the hand control cards, Painful Choice, Snatch Steal, and a 7th card named Upstart Goblin that didn't receive much attention. The player base wasn't given any time to adapt to these changes before the next major shift in the meta, however, as this ban list update happened on the same day as the release of the second.
I don't know if it was just like me being a child and not like keeping up with it too much, or not able to keep up with it too much. But like it feels like Metal Raiders, LOB, and Magic Ruler, as well as Pharaoh's Servant and Labyrinth of Nightmare, all came out like within a year of each other, or like within like a couple of months of each other. Like it was like just back to back to back, to where like the local Walmart, local Target, or whatever had like all 6 set boxes on their shelves at one time, and we didn't know like what to buy.
Tournament pack.
Morphing Jar is such a good card.
Morphing Jar was really the only good card in the pack, and like
Cyberjar was before Morphing Jar?
Rare. Whether it was better than Mechanical Chaser or not in the short term is up for debate, but it was certainly very powerful. Even though it couldn't nuke the board or special summon monsters like Cyberjar could, using it was generally a lot less risky, since Cyberjar often left the other player with a lot more to work with. At this point, it was actually the only card in the game that could simultaneously leave the other player with less cards than they started with, while leaving the person playing it with more cards than they started with.
In terms of like swings of card advantage, Morphing Jar is definitely up there. I think one of the things I like the most about Morphing Jar was when it comes to the more psychological aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh! And bluffing, you could just set like, let's say a Man-Eater bug, and just set like your whole hand of what's actually settable, and your opponent is gonna 90% of the time think you have Morphing Jar and play like you have Morphing Jar, and that way you can basically control what your opponent does.
If you set everything now, it doesn't signal just like, I have the thing to negate Storm. Now it also can signal I have Morphing Jar.
You know, other cards don't necessarily create a dynamic like that a lot of the time. A lot of cards, you know, they get played and they do what they're supposed to do. A card like Morphing Jar that does more than what it just says on the card, I think always just sets a very interesting precedent for how the game progresses later on.
Like Mechanical Chaser, this card probably would have been a staple if it was more accessible, but because of how expensive it was just too difficult for the average player to get a hold of.
You have TFT mode and Teamfight Tactics mode in Genshin?
Like,
holy shit.
Binder for Morphing Jar back then.
Crazy. Yeah! Pharaoh Servant! Relinquish! Minimize Restrict!
The next core
skip your draw phase.
Only 2 weeks after the second tournament pack.
Time seal.
The booster set was only a month old at this point.
This is when they started printing This is when they started printing Battle City cards. I'm pretty sure.
The game was still in the
Was
process of developing around all
Pharaoh
the new cards
Serpent.
it added. Beatdown
Because
continued to
that's
dominate in
when
the
Jinzo
post-patch
came
era,
out.
But lately its competition has
That's
been
when
a lot
Jinzo
more
came out.
varied.
That's when
Time
Time Seal
Control and
came
Dragon
out.
Rush managed to stick around, and they'd been joined by Burn, Relinquished, and Hand Control decks. Barely anyone was sure what the best version of each deck was at the time of Pharaoh Servant's release, however, and it provided all of them with even more tools to experiment with. Most of the good stuff in this set came from its pool of magic and trap cards, but that isn't to say it didn't have any good monsters. Goblin Attack Force took the idea at the core of
Goblin
cards like
Attack
Dark
Force is
Elf
an
to a
anime
brand new
card?
extreme by being a level 4 monster with 2,300 attack points. At this point, its value was debatable because
Oh, my
Dark
arm.
Elf could still deal with anything that this thing was meant to deal with, except for another newcomer from Pharaoh Servant named the Fiend Mega Cyber. This card
Yo!
was notable for being one of the first monsters in the game.
Love
that
the
could
Fiend Mega
essentially
Cyber.
special
I
summon
actually
itself.
had this card.
Monsters started to see a bit of shifting. As
That
well.
was one of my
Stuff
boss
like
monsters
Goblin
in one of my
Attack.
first ever decks.
Monsters were getting stronger and easier to summon.
Neither card attained staple status, but both of them fit like a glove in particularly aggressive builds of the beatdown strategy. Even outside of these decks, Goblin Attack Force specifically was fairly popular due to its sheer attack power.
You don't really need to attack with Goblin Attack Force. You can always sit on it like a very aggressive wall of some sort.
This set also introduced a new member of the Jar series of flip monsters. Like Morphing Jar and Cyber Jar before it, Morphing Jar 2 was a complete blowout whenever its effect resolved. Its power ceiling wasn't quite as outrageous as its predecessors, but unlike both of them, it could effectively end the battle phase since it got rid of all attack position monsters on the field and all the monsters that replaced them had to be set face down.
Morphing Jar 2 was the most annoying card. Combined with Morphing Jar 1, the thing is, Morphing Jar 2 could summon out just more Morphing Jar 2 over and over and over again to mill out someone's entire deck.
By this point, a lot of players had cut many of the low-level monsters that dominated the early game in favor of newer alternatives, but there still weren't any alternatives to the best of the original high-level monsters. This would change
Jinzo, baby.
following the
Enter the
release of
mad lad. The boy!
Jinzo almost immediately replaced
I had a
Jinzo as the best
Jinzo. I had a Jinzo from
While its
the
attack stat wasn't quite as high, this
Joey
was
deck.
strictly a problem thanks to its powerful effect.
Loved my Jinzo.
Trap Hole, Wabaku, and Mirror Force had always been pretty annoying pieces of disruption that made it really difficult to reliably tribute summon a monster
Like when you summoned him, it felt bad because it gets Trap Hole.
or do anything with a tribute summon monster once it was already on the field. Jinzo didn't care about any of these cards. None of them could do anything to him or even be used at all while he was on the field. This made choosing to summon him a lot safer than doing the same with other high-level monsters, which many players agreed was much more valuable than 100.
God,
extra attack
Jinzo's such a
Just off
sick
the top of my head,
monster.
Jinzo was probably the most impactful card in that set at the time, just because it really changed the dynamic with trap cards and with cards like Mirror Force. Yes, it was 100 attack less than a Summon Skull, but like, I mean, the payoff of not having to worry about anything in your opponent's back row, like, that was just monumental.
Imperial Order.
Pharaoh's Servant also introduced the ultimate foil to Jinzo, a continuous trap card named Imperial Order. This was, without question, the single best trap card released up to this point, even eclipsing Mirror
People want
Force
this
in
shit
terms of
unbanned,
impact.
by the way.
Order was frustrating all the way through Chaos, man. Your power cards are so many spells.
Magic cards were still the strongest type of card in the game, just like they always had been, so the ability to deny another player access to them altogether was obviously very useful. Since it was a trap card, Order could also be activated in response to magic cards, allowing it to act as a sort of pseudo-magic jammer. Its optional maintenance cost also meant that, on top of everything else, the person playing it could get rid of it whenever they felt like it by simply choosing not to pay for it.
Imperial Order, like right now, of course, we got the errated one where you can't turn it off manually. But back then, it was just a free spell negation. You had like Solemn Judgment, Magic Jammer, but Imperial Order was like, you just activate this card, you just got a free negation and you don't keep it.
Yeah, like you could choose when to turn it off, and that's what made it so powerful. The fact that now you can't is, I honestly think they should have made it that way in the first place because it would have been a stronger balancing mechanism. Even to this day, Imperial Order is still played because spell cards are one of, if not like just the most powerful card type because of just how much they allow you to do. And Imperial Order being just one of the biggest roadblocks in wanting to play spell cards, It's legendary.
Jinzo was one of the only ways to deal with this card, since Order negated most of the back row removal that existed at this point. As a matter of fact, perhaps as a direct response to Imperial Order, Pharaoh Servant introduced players to Dust Tornado. This was essentially Mystical Space Typhoon in the form of a trap card, which under most circumstances would have made it strictly worse. But the presence of Imperial Order in the metagame made this card a necessity, since it was, aside from Jinzo, one of the only reliable ways to remove the card from the field.
Shout out to Blaze Blue. Oh no, this is Guilty Gear.
Call of the Haunted was another trap card alternative to a popular Magic card, in this case Monster Reborn. Just like Dust Tornado,
that is
it
Blaze
was, for the
Blue.
most part, worse than its Magic card counterpart, but for different reasons. Mystical Space Typhoon was a quick play Magic card, so it could already be used during either player's turn. This meant that Dust Tornado didn't really benefit from being a trap card, aside from its utility as a way to destroy Imperial Order. Monster Reborn, on the other hand, was a regular Magic card, and thus could only be activated during the main phase of the turn of its owner. This meant that Call of the Haunted could actually be used in a few interesting ways that Monster Reborn couldn't.
But they Call the Haunted was also really cool too, because it started changing the game and how people had to think, because it, like, if your opponent had a set card and they were attacking you with their monsters, if there was a monster in the grave they could resurrect and kill you for game, you could lose if that set card was Call of the Haunted, because you could use it like offensively like that, or you could use it defensively to protect yourself from dying, and I think that was pretty cool.
Perhaps in order to compensate for all this added utility, the card was given numerous drawbacks. It could only summon monsters from its owner's graveyard, the monster it summoned had to be in attack position, and if it left the field for any reason, the monster it summoned would be destroyed. These came on top of the fact that it couldn't be used immediately like Monster Reborn could, being a trap card and all, so even considering all of its unique benefits, it was a pretty substantial downgrade. That said, Monster Reborn's effect was still really powerful, and the card was also limited, so to most players, Call of the Haunted was a welcome addition to the card pool. Strangely, the set featured a second alternative to Monster Reborn as well, except this one was also a Magic card. Premature Burial carried with it all of the same stipulations as Call of the Haunted did, with the only exception, of course, being that it didn't have to be set for a turn before being used. Now, in exchange, it was given an additional life point cost on top of everything else, but just like with Call of the Haunted, none of this was enough to dissuade players from using it. Monster Reborn's effect was, again, really good, and there were plenty of people who were more than willing to make these kinds of concessions if it meant that they could essentially run extra copies of it in their deck. The only other Magic card in the set whose immediate impact was comparable to Premature Burials was Nobleman of Crossout. This card brought an idea to the forefront of competitive play that had already been introduced but had yet to truly catch on.
It removed from play.
Instead of simply sending certain cards to the graveyard, some cards forced others to be removed from the game entirely, and this was the first high-profile card designed to do that. While this alone would have been enough to set the card apart from other one-for-one removal cards like Fissure and Mystical Space Typhoon, it took things a step further by removing from play all copies of its
Cross Out, my beloved.
Decks. This card was extremely useful given the growing power and popularity of flip monsters, and was one of the only ways aside from Raigeki and Darkhole to deal with them.
Yeah, Crossout definitely changed the dynamic of like flip effect monsters, which, as we said, there's, you know, Cyber Jar, there's Man-Eater Bug, Morphing Jar came out around this time, and for pretty much all future flip effect monsters too, and being able to just deal with set monsters, it doesn't even have to be flip effect monsters, just anything your opponent sets, the fact that you just have a single piece of removal just to deal with it.
These 6 cards compose the set's lineup of new competitive staples, but of course they were far from the only new cards to see meta success. Magic Drain and Mirror Wall were decent and cheap alternatives to Magic Jammer and Mirror Force respectively. Magic Drain allowed players to ignore Magic Jammer's discard cost, and Mirror Wall had the benefit of not being on the limited list. Ceasefire was a borderline staple card.
God, I love this song.
Was almost exclusively played in the side deck. It made dealing with flip monsters a lot.
I'm pretty sure it's
easier.
Guilty Gear.
It also provided a power boost.
Fairly
to
sure
burn
it's Guilty Gear.
As a matter of fact, this set did quite a bit to power up both burn and hand control. Skull Invitation, Burning Land, Minor Goblin Official, Attack and Receive, and Type 0 Magic Crusher all had burn effects, and Gravity Bind, like Messenger of Peace,
Boo! Gravity Bind, boo!
Potential attacks. These were by no means game-defining or even definitive for burn decks, but they all saw at least minor experimentation. Hand control, meanwhile, was given Time Seal and Light Force Sword, 2 cards that
I did have a Light Force Sword. I loved my Light Force Sword dearly.
The set also featured limiter removal, which was most useful to players who already had 2 of the most expensive cards in the game, Jinzo and Mechanical Chaser. This card was one of the first enablers of a reliable one-turn kill, and was really effective because it was often used in conjunction with Jinzo. The ban list in December put many of these powerful cards in check, and even changed the placements of some previously released cards like Witch of the Black Forest. Surprisingly though, given how quickly Pharaoh's Servant had come out following Magic Ruler, the next major shift in the metagame wouldn't happen until March of the following year, when the game would take its furthest leap forward in power yet. On March 1st, Yu-Gi-Oh! Players...
Alright. I think I'm gonna have to stop there for right now, chat. Because they've already hit the 3-hour mark. Actually, let's see, how much is... Yeah, let's finish Labyrinth of Nightmare, and then we'll call it. It's just, my arm is starting to hurt really badly. I need to take another round of ibuprofen.
Saw the release of 2 new booster packs.
Let's finish Labyrinth of Nightmare,
the much less
at least.
Tournament Pack 3. At first glance, Tournament Pack 3 may seem like a big deal, since Mechanical Chaser was reprinted in it as a far more accessible super rare. But it just so happened that Labyrinth of Nightmare made the card irrelevant with not just 1, but 2 new monsters.
Yeah, Gemini Elf, my beloved.
Gemini Elf was a strict upgrade in terms of attack points, and so it became the new face of powerful level 4 monsters.
Gemini Elf, like, you know, we have Mechanical Chaser beat now, hooray!
The other card, Bazoo the Soul Eater, was a bit more interesting. Bazoo's effect let a player remove up to 3 cards in their graveyard from play, and its attack would go up by 300 points for each. The card was supposed to specify monsters in its effect, but due to a translation error, any cards in the player's graveyard could be used. This made it very easy to crank Bazoo up to 2,500 attack points, and if the player was low on resources, it could still at the very least trade blows with a Gemini Elf. Interestingly enough, this set also included a hard counter to Bazoo, Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer.
Oh
Kaiku
yeah! I did have a Kaiku.
Or even Mechanical Chaser, but it was
I need to see if I can find my old
a high
cards.
stat value and a powerful effect.
Gemini Elf was like super
There's a binder somewhere around.
So all the 1800 beat sticks, they all can gain decent effects now. You got stuff like Kaiku, where it just prevents the graveyard from being manipulated.
Kaiku is a very interesting card because this was like La Jin power creeped like to infinity, you know?
Kaiku could not only get rid of resources from another player's graveyard, but it also had an effect that prevented the opponent from removing cards in the graveyard from play, which by extension could stop Bazoo from increasing its attack points in the first place. Speaking of Bazoo, Kaiku also benefited from a similar translation error.
At first, they're mistranslated, and you can remove any card for these cards. So Kaiku could remove any 2 from the graveyard, Bazoo could remove any 3, and the trap card, most importantly called Skull Layer, could remove any cards from the graveyard to pop. So if you go read Skull Layer, it's along the same concept, and you remove from play any number, and instead of monster cards, it's cards in your graveyard, destroy a face-up monster on the field whose level is equal to the number of cards. So for just 4 cards out of your graveyard, you can go pop any level 4 that's getting summoned.
One more monster of note was Zombira the Dark. In a vacuum, without taking card
Didn't
price
have a
and availability
Zombira,
into
though.
consideration, this card may not seem very good. But Gemini Elf was a secret rare, making it very difficult for the average player to get their hands on 3 copies. Zombira, however, was a common, and despite his many restrictions, he could kill 1, potentially even 2 copies of Gemini Elf all by himself.
Pew, 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 pew. United we stand, Mage Power, T-Tribute. Is that at the set too?
In addition to many high-attack monsters, this set included 2 extremely powerful equipped cards. Mage Power and United We Stand both boosted the attack and defense of the equipped monster relative to the number of cards the player controlled. They allowed monsters to easily reach some pretty absurd attack values, and they even brought about another offshoot of the basic beatdown strategy focused on Maha Vilo, a monster that had been released all the way back in Magic Ruler. Many decks that didn't play Maha still ran both of these new cards as well, but they weren't staples the same way any of the 3 new monsters were.
Mage Power and United We Stand, like you said, it's like the first like genuinely good equip spells, just because of like, it seems silly that these cards used to be good, but like if you go like summon monster set 4 Mage Power, that monster has like 2,500 extra attacks, so just the power scale of how big a monster could get would just be absurd.
Most of the new trap cards were either niche or subpar, but one was good enough to join the
Sakuretsu?
like Imperial Order and Mirror Force. Torrential Tribute
Oh
was
no,
like a
T-Tribute.
combination of
But it was
Trap Hole and
Sakuretsu
Dark Hole,
armor.
and because of its reactive nature, one could argue that it was even better than Dark Hole was.
But Torrential is probably the most impactful card long-term from this set.
Torrential Tribute,
Everything gets destroyed.
a board wipe that you could flip on your opponent's turn. It wasn't even, they didn't even have to attack. It could just be on summon.
People are smart about it. They use their Sangans to toggle it themselves.
People had to learn how to play around that card. Again, it kind of created the heavy storm dynamic where you had to be more conservative in thinking and respect your opponent's back row, because it's like, if they have Torrential, I might just lose the game. So a lot of times you might see older Yu-Gi-Oh players not playing into it by overcommitting to their board and summoning a second monster. They might just poke with like whatever monster they have on the field, because if they have the possibility of not running into Torrential, they're not going to. And so that, again, it just taught players to be very conservative.
Jar of Greed and Magic Cylinder saw occasional play as well, but neither came close to offering the power of Torrential Tribute. What really pushed this month over the edge was the simultaneous release of Starter Deck Joey and Starter Deck Pegasus on March 3rd.
I had both. I got both of these.
Reprints from older sets. They each included one of the best cards in the game.
Oh, this is when Graceful was printed? Holy. Yeah, I remember Scapegoat. I remember getting Starter Deck Joey just for the Scapegoats.
Than any of the Magic cards in Labyrinth of Nightmare. While there was some debate about whether Scapegoat belonged in the main deck or the side deck, and some people opted not to play it at all, it certainly had a noteworthy metagame presence, probably enough to warrant being called a staple. Even though the tokens it generated couldn't really be used for anything, at least not yet, this kind of defensive power was almost unprecedented. Unlike Swords of Revealing Light, this card didn't need to be activated preemptively and could be used to intercept incoming attacks. Not to mention, it also wasn't vulnerable to magic and trap card destruction. Now, all that said, as you may expect, Graceful Charity was definitely the better card here. You would have been hard-pressed to find anyone who wasn't running it in their main deck, and it isn't very hard to see why.
Graceful Charity, this should have been banned before it even was legal, but
you draw 3 and you discard 2.
It more or less did the same thing as Pot of Greed, and while it wasn't necessarily better, it also wasn't necessarily worse. It could be either or depending on the situation, and the discard cost, while usually a drawback, allowed players to do a lot of things that Pot of Greed didn't.
Let's say you drew like Monster Reborn off Graceful Charity, but then you could like discard the Jinzo in your hand and Monster Reborn the Jinzo. Like, that's so powerful. And just for simplified Yu-Gi-Oh back then, it was just taking the game to a completely another level.
And as if these cards hadn't already done enough for the game, just a little over a week later, Stairway to the Destined Duel shook things up again by introducing 2 more staples.
I don't even remember that.
Each copy of the game included a promotional pack, and
I don't even remember this. This is before.
One of them was nothing more than a collection.
Yo, Valkyrion though. Yo.
The other 2 seemed like they were tailor-made for
Feather Duster.
Harpy's Feather Duster more or less speaks for itself. This was the Raigeki to Heavy Storm's Dark Hole, and was just as popular as you would expect. Sinister Serpent, on the other hand, was powerful in a way that wasn't quite as obvious. At first glance, it doesn't really appear to do anything, but as it turns out, there were actually a lot of very easy and useful ways to take advantage of its effect.
You essentially created infinite discard fodder for you. So, just as an example, if you did decide to play cards like, let's say, Magic Jammer, or just any good discard card, Graceful Charity would probably be a better example here. It's a card that you choose to play in your deck that you know technically doesn't do anything, but if you ever have it in tandem with these other cards that require you to discard, whether for cost or as part of the effect, you aren't losing any card advantage as a result of that. And the funny thing is, in a very simplified game state, you could effectively just keep setting Sinister Serpent over and over again, so you never technically lose a monster while you're drawing cards off the top of your deck each turn. So it was this really weird card, but it actually just made a tremendous impact on the game.
As usual, most of the best new cards made their way onto the limited list. Between the 2 updates released in April and May, 9 total changes were made. Graceful Charity was the only semi-limited card, while Magic Cylinder, Sinister Serpent, Harpy's Feather Duster,
oh yeah, Magic Cylinder too.
Spells were all limited. Sangan and Heavy Storm made their way to the limited.
When did they ever print
because he, like
Spellbinding Circle,
continued to get better every time new monsters were released.
They just like they power crept themselves as more good stuff came out.
And in Heavy Storm's case, because Harpy's Feather Duster did the same thing it did. By this point, it was pretty clear that Yu-Gi-Oh was a much different game than it had been a year prior, but one thing hadn't changed, and that was that Beatdown was still the best deck around. Despite how many challengers had attempted to take its place, this was still the most popular and most powerful deck in the game, just like it had been back in May of 2002. The deck was a sort of ship of Theseus, though. It's hard to say whether or not it was the same deck it used to be, since pretty much all of the original pieces had been swapped out for new ones. At this point, the deck was certainly more control-focused, especially when compared to truly dedicated versions of the beatdown strategy, but it still aimed to do the same thing.
A real Wheel of Sansara moment.
Other tools like
a real
magic
Plato's
cards,
Allegory of the
and
Cave
effect
moment.
monsters to control the game. It's also worth pointing out that even with Mechanical Chaser out of the picture, there were still plenty of expensive staple cards that a lot of players either couldn't or didn't feel like paying for. This obviously affected deck building, since it forced people to find alternatives to anything they didn't have, which allowed a lot of cards to continue seeing play that otherwise wouldn't have. Speaking purely in terms of optimization, though, there really was no reason to play most of the stuff that had defined the early game, and surprisingly, the same was soon to be true of the beatdown deck itself. One of the deck's oldest rivals, Hand Control, was about to be powered up substantially by the release of Legacy of Darkness in June and Pharaonic Guardian in July.
All right, I think we're gonna stop there, chat. Oh god, my arm is starting to hurt badly. So I need to take some meds. And then that's not what I wanted. Legacy of Darkness, Pharaonic Guardian. Boop, there we go. Boop, boop, boop. Well, there we go. All right. Yeah, I think we'll stop there for tonight, and then we'll pick this up on another stream, probably tomorrow if I have time before locals. Yeah, sorry for the like short streams and the more laid back streams. Like I said, injured arm. It's hard to play video games, hard to do anything like extensive. But hopefully it gets better soon, so I can get back to like playing games I love again. Playing some fighting games, playing something like more active, and be more just be more active and be more energetic, I guess, without being in pain constantly. All right. So that being said, tomorrow is Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals Day. I'd have to go to Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals. It's been so many weeks since I've gotten to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals. But we'll either stream earlier in the afternoon or later at night when I get back. Really depends on when I wake up. So look for the go live notification. And if you're new here, hit that bell, hit that subscribe button, or follow me on Twitch, so you get that go live notification when we do go live. I will probably play some like Master Duel or something more relaxing, and we'll finish up the video as well. And we'll also we need to plan another viewer duel night. Outside of that, not too much else going on. Definitely are working on building a couple different decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! As well to make videos of and talk about. And we have like more support and more new set coming on the rise. We're also going to do a box opening of the new set when it comes out here. I think it comes out next week, either next week or the week after, one of those 2 weeks. Duelist, whatever it's called, that we watched earlier today. So that being said, guys, gals, MBs, YouTube catters, that's gonna be it for tonight for me. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your Friday night, Friday evening, Friday afternoon, Saturday meowing. And as always, I hope you get some rest, hope you get some sleep.